Chapter 1047. In 10 years, the human race will march to the original stars. Primal Chaos City leader's voice was as calm as the vast ocean, and the Supreme Leader meeting ended. Long, long. The door of the Pantheon Palace opened, and almost all the Universe Knights stood up. So soon, Luo Feng and Truyan Knight stood up too. The other Universe Knights were all chatting and laughing as they walked toward the golden door of the Pantheon Palace. The moment they stepped through the door, they were all teleported away. Bloody Wing Knight walked over. "What are you two hesitating for?" "I'm just surprised by the speed of the Supreme Leader meeting," Luo Feng said with a smile. Bloody Wing Knight smiled. "The first time I participated in the Supreme Leader meeting, I was also surprised by how short it was. But then I realized that a major event involving the human race only happens once in a while. Besides, more than half of the Supreme Leader meetings don't need to be discussed. Only the Universe Masters need to inform each other. Only a small number of meetings that require a vote will take a long time. Those that don't require a vote will only take a short time. After all, the high and mighty Universe Masters don't have the time to be long-winded and tell us too much." Luo Feng nodded. It was indeed efficient. Primal Chaos City leader didn't say much. He only mentioned the original stars, and a screen appeared in front of every Universe Knight, describing the relevant information in great detail. "Let's go," Bloody Wing Knight said. "Okay." Luo Feng, True Yin Knight, and Bloody Wing Knight walked side by side and stepped through the golden door of the Pantheon Palace. "Look, it's Blade River Emperor. I heard that Blade River Emperor has at least 6 true treasures." Some Universe Knights behind him were whispering to each other. Although he was able to kill Bark Mirror Emperor, which makes him an incredible being among the undying fighters, he's only a medium Universe Knight. With his power, he'll become a target for the supreme beings of the other races if he goes to the original stars. That's right. He has at least 6 true treasures, including a soul-type true treasure and a flying palace-type true treasure. He'll be a walking treasure trove on the original stars. The original stars are where the supreme beings of billions of races gather. Some Universe Masters of other races will attack Blade River Emperor as soon as they see him. Universe Overlords and Universe Masters of other races will attack him as soon as they see him. What are you thinking? Every time the original star opens, most of the weaker Universe Knights will not go. Blade River Emperor is not stupid. As long as he does not go, what can the other races do to him? Amidst the discussion, they also stepped into the golden door and disappeared. Halfway up Thunder Island, in the pavilion outside Luo Feng's palace, Luo Feng, Bloody Wing Knight, and True Yin Knight were sitting together, drinking and talking about the original star. To be exact, it was Bloody Wing Knight who was talking about the original star. Luo Feng and True Yin Knight were listening attentively. There are 10,081 original stars, and every one of them is a treasure star, but they're also a gathering place for the various superpowers in the universe. Venerable Bloodwing sighed and shook his head. The competition for some of the treasures and some of the ordinary treasures isn't that intense. Like flying palace-type true treasures, domain-type true treasures, soul-type true treasures, and even some senior true treasures and top-tier true treasures. The more precious a true treasure was, the greater the commotion it would cause. Universe Masters of various races would fight over it. Throughout history, every time the original star opened, Universe Masters would be annihilated. Luo Feng couldn't help but say, many Universe Masters have techniques to protect themselves, such as split bodies. For example, those who do not have a talent for creating clones would not go to the original star. Wrong. That's where you are wrong. Bloody Wing Knight shook his head. There are very few Universe Masters, and as long as there's one Universe Master in charge, there's no need to worry. If there's only one Universe Master, then a race can be considered a powerful race. Even if the human race is a pinnacle race, the number of Universe Masters is extremely small. Those who can become Universe Masters are very few cowards, said Luo Feng. Although they are cautious, the opening of the original star is an opportunity for them to obtain top-tier true treasures. Many of them will give it their all. If they can obtain top-tier true treasures or pinnacle true treasures, they can rely on true treasures to dominate the universe. They're almost invincible. Luo Feng nodded. True treasures were very useful. Thousand Treasure River allowed Primal Chaos City leader's body to be extremely powerful. Even Sky Wolf Master, who relied on Sky Wolf Palace, had to avoid it. Purple Knight was one of the 72 deified generals, and he inherited the position of deified general. He was much more powerful than candidate deified generals like Pei Feng Knight and Jiu Feng Knight. He truly had the power of a universe master. However, Sky Wolf Master, who had Sky Wolf Palace, could easily suppress Purple Knight. I experienced the opening of the original star once. That time, I almost died, Yi Futian said. Just as Bloody Wing Knight was talking about the opening of the original star, a being flew toward him from afar. Luo Feng. A voice was heard. Luo Feng turned around. Nine-Blade Knight. Luo Feng was a bit dazed. After becoming undying, many Universe Knights had come to congratulate him, but Nine-Blade Knight had never come. Luo Feng guessed. After all, if he had developed normally, he would have been Nine-Blade Knight's subordinate. That was why Nine-Blade Knight was so proud that he didn't want to come. Nine-Blade Knight. Luo Feng smiled and greeted him. Luo Feng. Reverend Nine-Sword smiled and looked at Reverend True Yin and Reverend Bloodwing. True Yin and Bloodwing are here as well. Ha ha ha. Nine-Blade. Are you here to borrow a true treasure? Bloody Wing Knight asked. Nine-Blade Knight's expression froze. He had indeed come to borrow a true treasure. After all, among the human race in the universe, those who owned true treasures were usually senior universe knights or universe overlords. And those supreme beings usually went to the original star. Those who owned true treasures but didn't go to the original star were few and far between. And Luo Feng, who owned at least 6 true treasures, probably wouldn't go. I don't have a grudge against Luo Feng, said Nine-Blade Knight. If I bow slightly, I'll become friends with Luo Feng. And this time, when the original star opens, if I have a true treasure to protect me, the chances of getting a true treasure will be much higher. I just need to bow slightly. Nine-Blade Knight clenched his teeth and walked over. After all, power was the most important thing on the path of a great being. Other great beings would only respect you if you were strong enough. Luo Feng, I am indeed here to borrow a true treasure from you, said Nine-Blade Knight. I am adept at close combat, so I would like to borrow that true treasure armor. He knew his limits, so he did not dare to borrow a soul-type true treasure. Borrow a true treasure? Luo Feng was dazed. It's a bit reckless of me to come here and borrow a true treasure. Nine-Blade Knight smiled. When I come out of the original star, I'll return the true treasure armor immediately and give you 10 true treasures as a reward. You can ask the virtual universe system to be the witness and sign a loan contract. Unless I betray my race, I won't dare to not return it. Luo Feng hesitated. Wouldn't it be too disrespectful to reject him? Nine-Blade Knight, said Luo Feng. I'm sorry about that. Nine-Blade Knight realized that he had failed to borrow a true treasure. Luo Feng, the original star will be open for 1,000 eras, said Nine-Blade Knight. I can come out at any time during the process. Once I get a true treasure, I'll come out immediately. That's why I'll only spend a few hundred to 1,000 years on the original star. It's not that I don't want to, said Luo Feng. It's that I plan to go to the original star myself. Nine-Blade Knight was speechless. Since Luo Feng planned to go to the original star himself, the stronger he was, the better. Huh, Nine-Blade, I actually planned to borrow a true treasure from Luo Feng, but I didn't expect you to come first. Bloody Wing Knight laughed. Now that I know Luo Feng plans to go to the original star, I don't need to embarrass myself. Huh, I have to thank you, Nine-Blade. Nine-Blade Knight laughed. He was grateful to Bloody Wing Knight. Bloody Wing Knight's words had helped him resolve the awkwardness. Nine-Blade Knight left quickly, but after a short while, another great being arrived to borrow a true treasure. Second brother. Luo Feng went to welcome him. A bald man in a red robe flew over. It was Guei Knight, who served Primal Chaos City leader all year round. Luo Feng, you should have guessed why I'm here. Guei Knight stepped on the ground barefooted and smiled at Luo Feng. I'm here to borrow that soul-type true treasure from you. I guess that you wouldn't go to the original star this time. So, I came. When I get out of the original star, I'll return the soul-type true treasure and give you 3 ordinary true treasures as a reward. 3 true treasures as a reward? Luo Feng was shocked. Many universe overlords only had a few true treasures with them. Pei Feng Knight, for example, only had 4. Guei Knight served Primal Chaos City leader all year round, so he might have more true treasures. However, to give him 3 true treasures as a reward was definitely generous. Second brother, said Luo Feng, this does interest me, but I also plan to go to the original star. Luo Feng, said Guei Knight, shocked. You're going too? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Brother Luo Feng, don't you know how dangerous that place is? Ordinary universe knights aren't confident of getting true treasures. Even for a universe overlord, if he doesn't have enough true treasures to protect himself, it would be difficult for him to get 3 true treasures. Luo Feng understood. Guei Knight was obviously telling Luo Feng that even universe overlords couldn't get 3 ordinary true treasures. Now, as long as he lent him a soul-type true treasure, he would get 3 true treasures as a reward. It was worth it. Luo Feng felt helpless. Second brother, you don't know that my soul-type true treasure is Tower Pearl, and it's owned by Star Tower. If universe knights merge it with their souls, they'll definitely die. I still plan to go in and see for myself, said Luo Feng. Oh, Guei Knight nodded and smiled. Then I'll leave first. It seems that I need to think of other ways to borrow true treasures. P.S. End of Chapter 1. To be continued. If you like this work, you're welcome to vote for me at Chidian.com. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 1048. Luo Feng watched as Guei left, feeling a little regretful within. He didn't agree this time. On the surface, his second senior brother looked the same. However, deep down, he was definitely upset. It's a pity that my soul treasure pagoda pearl is an item that the Star Pagoda recognizes as its owner. Universe Knights, whoever fuses with it will die. Luo Feng thought, if it was a normal soul treasure, lending it to Guei isn't much. Anyway, the primal star opens for a total of 1,000 eras. I can wait a few hundred eras, wait for Guei to return from exploring the primal star, and return my treasure. Then I'll go again. And after a few hundred eras, my strength will definitely be much stronger. Who knows, I might have already stepped into the Universe Knight level. Luo Feng. Bloodwing Knight walked over. From what I see, you should lend it to Guei. His status isn't normal. It's rare for him to ask. Ha. No need to say more. Luo Feng laughed and shook his head. It wasn't that he didn't want to lend it. It was that he couldn't. Up to you. Bloodwing Knight laughed too. You're ambitious enough. I guess I want to explore it, Luo Feng said. As for the mysterious primal star, Luo Feng indeed wanted to explore it. However, he was clear, his own strength wasn't enough. As time passed, Universe Knights came to borrow treasures from Luo Feng one after another. Obviously, most of them thought Luo Feng wouldn't go to Primal Star, but each and every one of them had been rebuffed. These people that came to borrow treasures from Luo Feng, some are friends of Luo Feng, some are close. There were also some he didn't recognize, as the earliest batch of knights were rejected by Luo Feng. The news quickly spread. Almost all the knights knew that Blade River Emperor Luo Feng wanted to head to the Primal Star too. Wanted to borrow treasures from him. That was impossible. Luo Feng is going to Primal Star too? He's just an undying. Even though he's powerful, he only has the strength of a middle-level knight. However, he has so many treasures on him. On Primal Star, he's basically a moving treasure trove. Any super experts of the foreign races would attack him if they encountered him. Isn't he looking to die? If he's looking to die, why do you care? With his strength, going to Primal Star, he's purely looking to die. Let's see what happens to him on the primitive star. It doesn't matter if he dies. But if he dies, and the treasure falls into the outsider's hands, then we'll have to deal with him. That will be the loss of our entire race. That is a sinner. Don't worry, he won't die that easily. The primal chaos city leader values him so much, he will definitely help him. Who knows? Maybe he will arrange for 2 universe overlords to form a team with him. Those that didn't like Luo Feng and were jealous of him were indeed a group of universe knights. These knights have been working hard and risking their lives to get treasures for their races, to earn contribution points in exchange for the treasures and resources they needed. However, Luo Feng was able to obtain a soul treasure at sector lord level. Naturally, many of the knights were angry, unhappy, and even hostile towards him. Let's watch and see how Luo Feng ends up on the primal star. Many of the knights were waiting to see Luo Feng make a fool of himself. What a joke. What kind of place was the primitive star? Universe lords and universe hegemons could do as they pleased. High-level universe paragons were the most common. Even universe paragons would usually form a few teams. No small team's battle strength could be underestimated. How could Luo Feng, a mere undying, create a miracle, even if he was the most powerful special life form? Even if he had the most powerful special techniques and treasures. However, the undying level, he was destined to be unable to create a miracle on the primitive star. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island Mountain Waste. Luo Feng and True Yin, the teacher and disciple, were gathered together. Then I won't be going to the primitive star. My strength is far from enough. True Yin's eyes were filled with unwillingness. I really want to go, but I know my own limits. Luo Feng, you are my disciple. I'll speak to you. Even though your strength is not bad, you don't have to rush to the primitive star. And because of this, you've created a rift with the 2 universe overlords. Luo Feng could only laugh, right? There were 2 universe overlords who wanted to borrow treasures from him. One was Gui Yi and the other was White Phoenix. The 2 were here to borrow spirit treasures. However, he had no way to borrow them, nor could he say anything. Indeed, my disciple, your temper is the same as mine. True Yin smiled and shook his head. However, you have to be careful when you enter the primitive star. Make ample preparations. From the information we've gathered, that place is simply too dangerous. Luo Feng nodded. The fall of the universe's upper echelons was a common sight. It could be seen frequently. The fall of the universe's overlords were many too. Even the lords of the universe had fallen. Teacher, I've made preparations. Luo Feng said. Even if you don't borrow the treasures, you've still made the human race's circle laugh at you. True Yin said. Even your friends don't believe you can create a miracle. However, I'm your teacher. I watched you grow. I believe you. Luo Feng grinned. Remember, don't let those punks laugh at you. True Yin said. Luo Feng nodded. After a while, Luo Feng watched as True Yin left. I'm afraid other than teacher who believes in me, not many will believe I can create a miracle. Luo Feng said softly. Even I don't have much confidence. With my current strength, if I meet a universe overlord, I'll still have to avoid them. To snatch food from the tiger's mouth and treasures in the primitive star is too difficult. Calamity armor, don't disappoint me. Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng was clear of his own strength. This bit of strength allowed him to roam the universe. He could go anywhere. However, the trillions of races on the primitive star gathered with absolute warriors. What they relied on was a true bloodbath. Amongst the universe lords, universe overlords, and some of the upper echelons teams, he was indeed at the bottom. He could only rely on the calamity armor. The universe's strongest warrior, Mountain Traveler, left 2 treasures for his second disciple. One was the flame god halberd, and the other was the soul. For his third disciple, Luo Feng, left 2 treasures. One was the star pagoda, and the other was the calamity armor. During the creation of the star pagoda, due to some unexpected circumstances, its power grew explosively, reaching the ultimate treasure level. And the calamity armor, the flame god halberd, and the soul, they were all on the same level. Every one of them was extremely valuable in the universe. Mountain Traveler had paid a huge price for them. Even compared to the primal Chaos City leaders Qianbaohe, they weren't any weaker. And the Calamity armor was specially made by Mountain Traveler for his third disciple. And according to his plans, it was most suitable for Luo Feng to use. Like the Star Pagoda and the Killer Wu Wings, they are all normal treasures. Luo Feng thought. The universe lords don't even care about them. They're useless to them. And the Calamity armor, even though it's weaker than the Star Pagoda is after all still an ultimate treasure of the universe. This Calamity armor is definitely an absolute treasure, or even the pinnacle of treasures. It's much stronger than the Killer Wu Wings and the others. The Calamity armor's power is definitely extraordinary. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The Flame God race was a race that lived far away from the human territories in a desolate place. They occupied a huge universe secret region. Wang, on a desolate planet, a jade green light emanated. A malevolent, undying, and a golden-armored youth appeared on this desolate planet. Not bad. The golden-armored youth smiled at the undying. That malevolent, undying immediately bowed respectfully. With the many other races under me, I've left many tokens and locations in the universe. This is the closest place to the Flame God race. Luo Feng said softly. Simultaneously, he waved his hand and kept the undying in his world ring. From here to the Flame God race, it's still very far. Luckily, I have the ancient ship Milky Way. Luo Feng flipped his hand, and a date seed-sized ancient ship appeared. Expand, expand, expand. Luo Feng waved his hand. The ancient ship immediately tore through space and flew away. Simultaneously, Luo Feng's God energy was infused within. With the activation of the God energy, the ancient ship swiftly grew in space, quickly becoming the size of the planet Luo Feng was on. Luo Feng took a step and entered the ship. Standing on the deck, looking at the endless space, the flying palace type of absolute treasure, it's much stronger than a universe ship. Luo Feng controlled his God energy and shrunk the ship to a 1,000 m-long ship. After all, maintaining the ship's size consumed a lot of God energy. Let's go. Luo Feng's thoughts moved. So, the ship swiftly accelerated. With a swish, it left behind a silver beam of light in space, following which it reached the limit of light speed. It immediately vanished and entered the dark universe. In the dark universe, the speed of the ancient ship Milky Way continued to rise madly. 10 times light speed, 20 times light speed, 30 times light speed, 100 times light speed, 200 times light speed, 300 times light speed. This is awesome. Awesome. Standing before the railing and leaning on it, the entire ship Milky Way's ram formed a shield, protecting the entire ship within. It's much faster than those life ships and mechanical ships. Luo Feng constantly activated the ship's speed. Finally, it stopped when it reached 800 times light speed. This was Luo Feng's limit, not Milky Way's. If Luo Feng burned his God energy, he could activate it even faster. If Luo Feng's law comprehension was higher, he could activate it even faster. Enough. I estimate I'll be able to reach the Flame God secret region after 2 months of flying in the dark universe. Luo Feng thought. The Flame God clan lived in a huge universe secret region. As this region was ruled by the Flame God clan, hence this region was often called the Flame God secret region by the universe warriors. Sitting in the ancient ship Milky Way, Luo Feng roamed the dark universe. After close to 3 months, the ship finally slowed down and left the dark universe. In the vast space, on an ancient ship, Luo Feng stood on the deck of Milky Way, leaning on the railing and gazing. I've arrived, the Flame God's secret region. P.S. Update complete. This undying chapter has ended. I'll start a new one tomorrow. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1049. Back then, the Flame Emperor brought the Flame God clan under him and left the human race, searching for an extremely distant and desolate universe secret region to live and reproduce. Countless years passed. The Flame God clan grew even stronger. Along with the Flame Emperor's invincible strength in the universe, nobody dared to mess with him. Even though the distance between the Flame God clan and the human territory was extremely far, the Flame God clan would still frequently enter the foreign battlefields and join other factions to battle against the humans. The armors and general armor pieces I obtained back then, they were all found in the trash from the battles. Luo Feng stood on the deck of the ancient Milky Way ship and gazed into the endless universe space. The Flame God clan has already left the human race, yet they're still working with the Bug clan, Demon clan, or Automaton clan, continuing to battle against the humans. Looks like they have a huge grudge against the humans. In theory, the Flame God clan was originally part of the human race. Even if they left, there was no need to continue fighting. However, whether it was the information Luo Feng found in the virtual universe, or the armors and general armor pieces from the trash from the battles, it all showed that the Flame God clan and the human race were enemies. The Flame Emperor is a universe lord nurtured by Teacher. With the Flame God halberd and the soul energy, these two powerful treasures, he's definitely much stronger than the Skywolf leader. However, even if he dares to leave the human race, he probably wouldn't dare go against Teacher Mountain Passenger. Luo Feng thought. So, Luo Feng waved his hand, and the ancient Milky Way ship swiftly shrunk to the size of a date seed and landed in his palm. I'll go visit my second senior. Luo Feng teleported in the universe space and headed towards the base of the Flame God clan. The Flame God clan lived on 3 vast continents. These 3 continents, the smallest one had a diameter of more than 1 light year, and the largest one had a diameter of about 3 light years. The 3 continents revolved around each other, and in the middle of the void where the 3 continents revolved, there was a group of majestic floating palaces. The palaces were surrounded by endless flames, black, purple, white, green, blue, all sorts of flames revolved. Undying warriors walked through the corridors and plazas, occasionally looking at the highest palace in the center, their eyes filled with respect. The Flame God warriors were all tall and sturdy. The shortest were 8 tall, the tallest were 10 their skin was covered in scales, and there was even a curved horn on their forehead. Their hands and feet were similar to those of earthlings, but they were thicker and had a layer of scales on the back of their hands. A tyrannical aura spread out. In the highest palace of the Void Palace complex, surrounded by the 3 continents of the Flame God race, a majestic silhouette sat on the throne. This silhouette was close to 10,000 kilometers tall. The energy he breathed out from his nostrils caused the surrounding space to burn. That black horn pierced the sky. His body was covered in dense black scales. His fingers gently tapped on the armrest. His eyes seemed to pierce through space, looking at Luo Feng's silhouette flying over from the endless distance. His aura is quite strong. A guest has come to our Flame God race's secret realm. The towering figure said softly. He was the Lord of the universe. Most universe supremacies could only sense spatial fluctuations from extremely far away. But the Lord of the universe, who had complete control over space-time, could sense all spatial fluctuations within 10 million light years. In fact, as long as he willed it, time and space were like his antennae, constantly extending outwards to investigate. Let's see who this guest is. The towering figure stared into the distance. He followed the flow of time and space, breaking through layers of spatial obstructions. In a distant void, a black-haired youth was rapidly approaching. Rumble. The aura of the towering figure on the throne shook violently, causing the surrounding space to tremble. Third Junior. The towering figure said softly, knowing that you've entered Undying. I guess you would come. You've finally come. True Yin, as your teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader, as your teacher, Third Junior, why are you so deeply involved with the human race? The towering figure said softly, have you forgotten your home planet Earth was taken by the human race? Don't you know that they treat you well so that you can fight to the death for them? I'm really sorry. I won't let an absolute treasure like the calamity armor be used by the human race. The towering figure laughed softly. Without Teacher Mountain Passenger's orders, you'll never have any hope of obtaining the armor. Teacher Mountain Passenger. Flame Emperor's eyes flashed with fear. The higher he stood, the more he felt how terrifying Mountain Passenger was. Mountain Guest had given him the Origin Soul, the Flame God Halberd, and the Tribulation Armor, leaving the Tribulation Armor with him for the time being. Logically speaking, after becoming the master of the universe, with 3 supreme treasures on him, he should have nothing to worry about. He wasn't afraid of Primal Chaos City Leader, Lord Mung Ta, etc. Although the peak existences among the masters of the universe could suppress him, they couldn't kill him. Only the strongest experts of the universe. Those who had reached the ranks of the strongest in the universe were actually extremely powerful, and their words were laws. They could easily change the laws and completely control a part of the area. However, due to the restrictions of the universe's laws, their power was only slightly stronger than the master of primal chaos, Lord Mung Ta, etc. That creator of the Great Axe, because of the human race, doesn't dare to provoke me. However, Teacher Mountain Passenger has many tricks up his sleeves, and he's famous for being hard to deal with. Those who provoke him have all suffered great losses. Flame Emperor squinted his eyes, a cold light flashing in them. Plus, he's a loner with no worries. He knows almost all of my trump cards. Once he attacks me, Flame Emperor, in the entire universe, he was only afraid of Mountain Passenger. And even now, I don't have 100% control over the Tribulation Armor. Flame Emperor stroked his arm, and a layer of transparent armor appeared on the surface of his skin and scales. The armor had complex runes that were constantly changing, and it was incomparably profound. Mountain Passenger's ability to create treasures is indeed unparalleled in the universe. This Tribulation Armor was created for 3rd Junior Apprentice Brother, and other experts can't recognize it as its master. And although I can recognize it as its master, I can only use a portion of its power. Like a pearl, whoever recognized it would die. Although the Tribulation Armor wasn't that ridiculous, other experts couldn't use it at all. Even Flame Emperor could only use a portion of its power. Although I can only use a portion of its power, it's still stronger than many other top treasures. The Flare Emperor stroked the transparent armor and looked up at the figure in the distance. Gradually, a smile appeared on the Flare Emperor's face. 3rd Junior Brother, if you can come before me and see me, I will naturally respect the Mountain Guest's orders. I won't dare to disobey him. However, the prerequisite is you have to see me, or at least come to where the Flame God race is. Flame Emperor said softly. As long as Luo Feng arrived and sent a message to the Undyings of the Flame God race, then Flame Emperor wouldn't be able to pretend he didn't know. However, if Luo Feng didn't even reach the base and didn't see the upper echelon, naturally Flame Emperor could pretend he didn't know. You want the Tribulation Armor? You'll have to wait until you reach the Universe Knight level. With your current strength, you can't reach the core of the Flame God race. Flame Emperor's majestic silhouette stood up and walked off the throne. He walked outside the palace and gazed into the endless void. Flame Emperor was very clear about Mountain Passenger's personality. What he did was completely within Mountain Passenger's tolerance. Lock, Flame Emperor said softly. Immediately with the palace he was in as the center, it spread out in all directions. A few hundred light years of space ripples were all locked down. Even though the space coordinates of the Flame God race have been covered long ago, just in case, I'll add a few more tricks. Even if you get the Primal Chaos City Leader to break it, he won't be able to do so in a short period of time. Flame Emperor smiled. With a movement of his body, he reached light speed and entered the dark universe to unleash his techniques. So. Luo Feng teleported again and again, nearing the base. I'm almost there. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. Luo Feng suddenly stopped and frowned at the space ahead. There were a few star shards floating there. The space ripples are actually completely locked? What's going on? Ancestral God sect base within the 5-colored extreme light lake. there's no way to teleport. Only a few areas within the Purple Thorn Island can teleport. Like the important areas of the human race's primal region, there's no way to teleport to. Luo Feng thought. Is it the same for the Flame God race, unable to teleport within a few hundred light years? With the Universe Lord's methods, by carving the origin law engravings on the special structures and then using the Fire God crystals to activate them, they could completely maintain the space lock for a long period of time. Or he could use it through some treasures. However, this way, won't the Flame God race be unable to teleport to? Luo Feng frowned. Or is my second senior intentionally sealing the space? Not good. Luo Feng's expression changed. Immediately, his wings flapped, and he became a beam of light, swiftly reaching light speed and entering the dark universe. Luo Feng flew in the dark universe and very quickly arrived at the theoretical location of the Flame God race. The coordinates? Where are the coordinates for the 3 continents of the Flame God race? Luo Feng's left hand held the coordinate locator. The locator kept jumping from one coordinate to another. In between, a large portion of the coordinates vanished. Even after a while, at the same location, the locator changed again. Luo Feng was dumbstruck as he watched. This was much stronger than Hu Yin Bo's method of concealing the coordinates back then. Vicious, Luo Feng said softly, concealing the coordinates of the dark universe. Space lock, meaning to say, I can only rely on flying to get there. A few hundred light years. Even if I fly close to light speed, it'll still take a few hundred years to get there. At this point, how could Luo Feng still not understand? His second senior was indeed as he had guessed. After using the Calamity armor for so long, he didn't want to return it. He's concealing the coordinates and sealing the space. The only thing he didn't do is deal with me personally, Luo Feng thought. Looks like he doesn't dare to openly go against Mountain Guest. P.S. New chapter begins. This is the first chapter. There will be 5 chapters today. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1050. The Flame God's Secret Region, in terms of danger, was far less than the Ancestor God's Secret Region. With Luo Feng's current strength, just the secret region itself didn't pose a threat to him. A life ship was flying at sublight speed within the region. Second senior. Luo Feng sat within the control room, holding a glass of wine. Even Senior Puti doesn't have a single true pinnacle treasure. You have 2, and at the same time you've taken up my Calamity armor for 1,000,000,000 years. Such a treasure, I can understand why you can't bear to return it. However, being overly greedy isn't good. Luo Feng raised his head and drank the entire glass, before pouring himself another. The primal planet opens for 1,000 eras. I'll sit in the ship and fly slowly. In a few hundred years, I'll reach your base. A few hundred years? It's just a quiet training session. Luo Feng wasn't anxious at all. Within the main palace of the 3 continents of the Flame God clan, the Flame Emperor's majestic silhouette gazed into space. Looking through layers of space, he saw the completely purple life ship and even the leisurely drinking Luo Feng within. You actually don't retreat. The Flame Emperor shook his head. The space is locked. The dark universe coordinates are covered. You still don't retreat. My third junior. Do you really think that if second senior wants to stop you, he can't? I didn't want to hurt our relationship, but since you insist on taking the armor, don't blame your second senior. The Flame Emperor's eyes gleamed coldly. Within the 9 Regions Alliance, on a seemingly normal life planet, there were a few mud frog people. Over 1,000 villages were scattered throughout the planet. In one of the mud frog tribe villages. Take the test one by one. The best one will receive personal guidance from the third elder. The moment he does, he'll definitely become a strong warrior and be able to fly. A group of mud frog people under the orders of the tall and sturdy mud frog people began to take the test one by one. In the distance, the third elder wielded his wooden staff and smiled as he surveyed everything. His jade green eye was filled with joy. He loved such a peaceful life, living with the lowest rung of the race. Back when he was at his weakest, He too lived in such a simple and weak village. The third elder wielded his wooden staff and frowned. The human that is comparable to a heavenly life form blade, River Emperor Luo, Feng actually appeared in the flame god territory. In exact coordinates. Third elder's jade green, I revealed a look of shock. Without a doubt, this news was definitely released by the flame god race. This flame emperor is a universe lord. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng is in his territory. Why didn't he act personally? That made sense. The Flare Emperor was a top-notch existence, even among the masters of the universe. He probably wouldn't care at all. Also, it is said that the Flare Emperor was also born in the human race, so he might have some misgivings. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng. At least 6 supreme treasures. The news has already spread. Those who dare to go are probably the overlords of the universe who are incomparably confident. I'm afraid those universe high-level venerables don't even have the qualifications to snatch it. The third elder looked down at the ongoing test. He liked living in a low-level village, but he knew very well that he was the true core pillar of the entire Mud Frog tribe. He was the strongest of the Mud Frog clan, so strengthening his own strength was his top priority. Soul-type supreme treasure. I must obtain it. The third elder was still standing there with the scepter in his hand, but his real body had already left the planet. What remained was only his clone. As an overlord of the universe, an energy clone with a thread of consciousness, maintaining a sector lord's strength was extremely easy. Ha ha ha! Blade River Emperor Luo Feng actually left the human race. A supreme treasure of the soul. He often spends time with the Bug Clan warriors. These are all masters of the soul. If he had a treasure of the soul, then he'd be safe. Ha ha! This treasure of the soul is mine. Within a universe secret region, a seemingly ordinary floating mountain suddenly opened its 9 huge eyes. The 9 eyes were filled with excitement, following which this mountain teleported and disappeared. Why did Luo Feng go to the flame god territory? Isn't he looking for death? I thought he would die on the primal planet. I didn't expect him to think it's too early and run to the enemy's territory. The moment the absolute warriors of the human race received the news, they too exploded. The news spread like a whirlwind. The news first spread from the Ancestor God Sex Plaza in Glory World. The plaza was filled with the inheritors of the various superpowers of the universe. It was the top information center in the universe. Naturally, everyone knew about it very quickly. Ha ha! Blade River, I was afraid you would hide in the human race and not come out. Bark Mirror Emperor received the news that day too, even though he couldn't go to Bauhenia Island or Interglory World. However, the North Border Alliance had large numbers of inheritors there. Many of them were close to Bark Mirror Emperor. You actually came out, and even came to the Flame God territory. Now that the primal planet is about to open, the universe overlords are complaining that they don't have enough treasures, or that their treasures aren't strong enough. Yet you suddenly appeared in the Flame God territory. You're looking for death. Don't blame me. Bark Mirror Emperor laughed heartily. This was probably the happiest moment since he was revived. The absolute warriors from the various races of the universe all had their own friends. Very quickly, they rushed to the Flame God territory, within the main palace of the 3 continents of the Flame God race. Flame Emperor. A blurry red light lit up and a silhouette walked out, shouting respectfully, "You're here." The majestic silhouette standing in front of the palace smiled. "Ba Feng, I called you here because of the Blade River Emperor Luo Feng." Venerable Ba Feng was a universe overlord of the 9 Territories Alliance. His body was like a bamboo pole, his head was square, and there was hair on his face. His 3 eyes formed a straight line, and just being stared at by him would cause one to fall into an illusion. Ba Feng Knight's strength was average among the universe overlords of the same level. However, he was extremely good at dealing with the weak. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng. Ba Feng Knight was curious. I just received news that Blade River Emperor Luo Feng has appeared here. Right? Flame Emperor nodded. Look, Flame Emperor pointed into space. Immediately the space rippled, and a few hundred light years away appeared before his eyes. It was a life ship flying. "This is the Blade River Emperor Luo Feng's ship." Flame Emperor smiled. "Flame Emperor, what do you mean?" Ba Feng Knight was confused. "You know, I'm originally from the human race. Against this punk, I don't want to do it myself." Flame Emperor said. "Hence, I'll let you do it." "I understand." Ba Feng Knight nodded. He had lived for a long time and knew about the Flame Emperor's betrayal of the human race. That was an explosive piece of news back in the universe. "Flame Emperor, don't worry. This Luo Feng is just an undying. Even though he has the strength of an intermediate knight, he has no power against me. Not just him. Even the advanced knights of the universe can't escape from me. In front of me, you won't be able to escape even if you want to." Venerable Ba Feng said confidently. The Flare Emperor only nodded slightly. "I know your methods." It was because Ba Feng Knight was good at dealing with the weak that he summoned him. "Flame Emperor, the moment you give the order, I'll act." Ba Feng Knight said. "Kill him or capture him. It's up to you." "Of course, kill him." Flame Emperor said coldly. "Why would I capture a human alive?" "Yes." Ba Feng Knight didn't dare say more. "Of course, there's no rush now." Flame Emperor shook his head. "The news has already spread. Many foreign races will come to deal with him." Flame Emperor said. "Hence, I called you here just in case. If those foreign races are too weak and this Luo Feng escapes, then I'll have to rely on you." Ba Feng Knight nodded. Flame Emperor's position in the Nine Regions Alliance was extremely high. He was one of the pinnacle beings. His position in the Alliance was definitely comparable to the Primal Chaos City leader's position in the Great Alliance. To be able to work for the Flame Emperor, Ba Feng Knight naturally didn't dare to slack off. "Watch," Flame Emperor said softly. "Yes." Ba Feng Knight stood obediently behind the majestic mountain like Flame Emperor. Flame Emperor, however, looked at that scene. He thought to himself, "My third junior, I believe with your information network, you should know about the news I've released. If you retreat now, there's still time. If you're late, you won't be able to escape. I don't know. Will you escape or continue heading towards me?" Within the life ship, Luo Feng sat there with a wine glass in hand. His consciousness was constantly connected to the virtual universe. Blade River. Chong Rain Emperor was the first to contact Luo Feng through the virtual universe. He was filled with anxiety. "The news has spread in the plaza of Glory World. It's said that you are in the Flame God Race territory and heading towards their territory. Even the universe coordinates have been made public. Right now, many absolute warriors from other races are rushing over. You can't really be there, right?" Luo Feng was stunned. The news has spread?" Luo Feng said. "Right. This news is very detailed. The moment I heard it, I knew it was real." "Luo Feng, don't lie to me. You are in danger now. Extremely dangerous." Chong Rain Emperor said anxiously. "Understood, thanks." Luo Feng smiled. "Don't be rash. Hurry and leave now. The absolute warriors from all over the universe are still rushing over. If you hesitate, I'm afraid you'll be chased very quickly. When that happens, you won't even be able to escape." Chong Rain Emperor was anxious. "Relax, I understand," Luo Feng said. Luo Feng cut off his communication with Chong Rain Emperor. Following closely, Chamon Emperor, True Yin Knight, and even Bloodwing Knight, etc., all contacted Luo Feng through the virtual universe. Obviously, they too received the news and knew the situation wasn't good. Anyone could guess the absolute warriors from all over the universe would definitely gather to kill Luo Feng. P.S. The second chapter has arrived. Continue writing. When everyone wakes up tomorrow, the 5th chapter will definitely be completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1051. Today was the 3rd chapter. Within the main palace, the Flame Emperor stood with his eyes closed, only sending a thread of his consciousness through space and time to sense the energy ripples from Luo Feng's life ship. The moment any ripples appeared, he would sense it. Flame Emperor seems to value the human too much. He's actually standing here. Ba Feng the Knight thought. As the pinnacle of the universe lords, There's no need to care about a little human punk. However, on the surface, Bafeng the Knight stood obediently behind the Flame Emperor, his face filled with respect and admiration. The Flame Emperor suddenly opened his eyes. Hua! An image appeared in the void in front of them. The biological spaceship stopped, and the golden-armored young man flew out. A misty, jade-green light appeared out of nowhere. God country teleportation? The Flame Emperor was shocked, thinking, has my third junior brother given up and left? In a space-sealed region, one could still teleport in the God country. Just like the altar in the flaming sacrifice continent. One couldn't teleport within, however they could teleport in the God country. After all, the two had different principles. This human Blade River Emperor is definitely afraid. Bafeng the Knight said respectfully. He's also predicted that many other absolute warriors will arrive. He's definitely going to teleport back to the human domain. It's good that he escaped. The Flame Emperor smiled and said softly, that punk is lucky. It's the Flame Emperor's mercy. If the Flame Emperor acted and controlled the space, he wouldn't even have a chance of escaping. Bafeng the Knight said. The Flame Emperor only smiled as he watched the image, not bothering to explain. The Flame Emperor's expression changed slightly. In the image, Luo Feng waved his hand and an ugly foreign race, Undying, appeared. It first bowed respectfully at Luo Feng, after which it stepped into the misty jade green light and teleported away from the God country. As for Luo Feng, he didn't leave, instead returning to the life ship and continuing on. He didn't escape back? The Flame Emperor frowned. Why did he send a slave back? Behind a majestic figure, Bafeng the Knight was curious too. The first outsider has arrived. The Flare Emperor smiled and turned to look at another part of the void. Through the layers of void obstruction, the scene tens of thousands of light years away floated in front of him. It was a giant serpent with a silver-white abdomen and a greenish-black back. It had 2 wings, and it had 9 horns on its forehead. The horns were forked and curved, like branches. The 9 horns were wrapped around each other like a crown. Its pair of green eyes mixed with golden light coldly swept across the void. As if sensing the Flare Emperor's gaze, it slightly lowered its head, showing respect to the Flare Emperor. The demon race's evil wing hierarch, said Venerable Bafeng. He is an ambitious and powerful overlord of the universe. The Flare Emperor commented casually. Suddenly, he looked in another direction. The void rippled, and an image appeared. An elder of the Mud Frog race, holding a black scepter, appeared. The elder of the Mud Frog race also sensed the gaze and bowed slightly to show his respect. The Mud Frog sage, the Flare Emperor said softly. The first 2 to arrive are not ordinary. The third one is here. The Flare Emperor looked in another direction. The scene hundreds of thousands of light years away appeared in the void. It was a handsome humanoid figure. However, there were 2 horns on his head that were thicker than his thighs. The horns were like braids that wrapped around his body. His blue eyes were like the starry sky, piercing straight into the soul. The outsider warrior bowed slightly too. Masha Knight, the Flare Emperor said softly. He is a domain treasure. Among the 3, if Luo Feng meets him, it will be the hardest for him to escape. Bafeng the Knight said solemnly. The evil wing hierarch, the Mud Frog Sage, and Masha Knight are all famous absolute beings in the universe. All of them are powerful. The evil wing hierarch is from the Pinnacle race. The Mud Frog Sage is the leader of a race. Masha Knight even has that domain treasure. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng will find it hard to escape if he meets any one of them. The Flare Emperor smiled. Third brother, prepare for the feast I have prepared for you. The Flare Emperor said. Rumble. The god energy supplied by the main palace suddenly weakened. The space ceiling area was immediately reduced by 100 light years. In the space of the flame god's secret region, on a floating star fragment, the evil wing hierarch's huge body slowly slid past. His cold eyes gazed into the distance. According to the news, Blade River Emperor should be there. The evil wing hierarch let out a low voice that sounded like 2 planets colliding. Blade River, your treasures are all mine. So, He immediately teleported and swiftly closed in. Kill the Mudfrog clan for me. I must obtain the Saber River King's treasure. The old Mudfrog clan man, wielding the black staff, said softly. Simultaneously, he too teleported and swiftly closed in on the location of the news. I have a domain treasure. If I also have a soul treasure or a flying palace treasure, even a universe lord wouldn't find it easy to kill me. The devilishly handsome Reverend Ma Sha stroked his long, curved horn, took a step forward, and teleported away. The news the Flare Emperor had spread throughout the universe. As it spread too far, normal universe knights didn't dare interfere. Plus, the universe tyrants had stronger methods. As a result, the first 3 to arrive were all tyrants. The life ship slowed down and stopped. The space lock has disappeared. Luo Feng stood in midair and looked at the endless mist before him. Why would this second senior of mine be so kind as to close the space lock? Luo Feng closed his eyes and carefully felt. His Masha clansman's sense of space wasn't any weaker than the Universe Knight's. Following the ripples of space towards the Flame God clan, he could clearly feel that the ripples of space about 100 light years away had completely stopped. It's not closed, it's just shrinking. No matter what you did, shrinking the area of the space lock has saved me over 100 years of flying time. Luo Feng waved his hand and kept the life ship. Simultaneously, he took a step and teleported. A few seconds after Luo Feng teleported, a huge winged snake silhouette appeared in midair. There's teleportation ripples. The evil wing hierarch's jade-green eyes were filled with excitement. The Mudfrog Sage and Ma Shan Knight appeared in different locations. They were very far from each other, hence they couldn't sense each other's teleportation. Plus, he was the closest. Naturally, he was the first to close in on Luo Feng. To universe venerables, they had to be within 1,000 light years to be able to sense the teleportation ripples. It must be him. The evil wing hierarch's huge wings flapped, and with a swing of his tail, he teleported and closed in. Luo Feng directly reached the outer area of the space lock. My second senior brother has suddenly shrunk the area? Luo Feng stood in the mist-filled space, looking behind him. Don't tell me those aliens have arrived. Who cares? Luo Feng became a beam of light and flew into the space lock. Rumble. As Luo Feng flew into the space lock, the evil wing hierarch's huge silhouette appeared. He immediately saw the distant beam of light. Human Blade River. The evil wing hierarch's extremely low voice was transmitted through his god energy. So, the evil wing hierarch swiftly chased. Luo Feng maintained close to light speed and flew in the flame god's secret region. He turned to look at the evil wing hierarch chasing after him. You can't catch up. Luo Feng glanced. Human Blade River, you can't escape. The evil wing hierarch chased from behind. Luo Feng didn't care about him at all. He maintained close to light speed and flew in a straight line. This was already his highest speed. If he went any faster, he would reach light speed and enter the Dark Universe. One had to know that the Dark Universe coordinates around the Flame God clan were completely covered. The moment he entered the Dark Universe, he would waste a lot of time. Origin Law Domain. The evil wing hierarch suddenly unleashed his Origin Law Domain. The surrounding 100 million kilometers immediately fell into the domain Luo Feng 2. Rumble. Luo Feng's god energy burned, and his energy filled the sky. He maintained close to light speed and didn't slow down at all. Just relying on one Origin Law domain is useless. Luo Feng glanced at the evil wing hierarch behind him. Suddenly, 2 powerful ripples appeared, shocking Luo Feng. Not good. There are other pursuers. The evil wing hierarch felt something was amiss and turned to look. 2 powerful auras quickly chased after him. It was the Mudfrog Wise Sage and Ma Sha Supremacy. After they teleported one after the other, they rushed into the sealed space and chased after him. Luo Feng fled while the 3 universe lords chased. However, within the space lock, he couldn't teleport. Aha! Old Mud Doll, Evil Wing, this is the space lock region. Your Origin Law domains can at most affect the Blade River Emperor. to kill or trap him. It's far from enough. Looks like luck is on my side. The heavens favor me, and the soul-type treasure is also mine. Venerable Masha, who was at the back, laughed heartily. 90 million Sand River region done. Masha Knight's voice rumbled and resounded in the ears of the Evil Wing Hierarch and the Mud Frog Sage. The huge spherical region that spanned over 100 million kilometers was filled with countless grains of sand. Each grain of sand was indestructible. Although each grain of sand was extremely weak, when countless grains of sand gathered together, their power could easily annihilate some universe supremacies. Damn. The Evil Wing Hierarch's eyes were filled with rage. He looked at Masha Knight from afar. Masha, this treasure belongs to me, too. Masha Knight, don't be too greedy. The Mud Frog Sage looked at Masha Knight from afar. If it's mine, it's mine. Damn old Mud Frog, you actually dare attack me. Masha Knight's handsome face was filled with rage. It's no use. Your soul attacks aren't strong enough. At most, they can affect me. I'm not going to waste my time with you two. Human Blade River die. The treasure belongs to me. With Masha Knight's control. Rumble. The endless sand grains all glowed and madly gathered towards Luo Feng. As the countless grains gathered, their power stacked and formed a huge sand whirlpool that swept towards Luo Feng. Third junior brother, don't blame second senior brother for taking those precious treasures of yours. Who asked you to have them? Within the Flame God clan's space palace, the Flame Emperor watched everything unfold. P.S. Chapter 3 has ended. Tomato will continue writing Chapter 4. Not finished yet. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1052. Flame Emperor looked at the scene a few hundred light years away. Everything was within his control. Luo Feng looked at the huge sand whirlpool around him. This sand whirlpool was about 100 kilometers tall and thick. Every grain's power was small, but after the countless grains gathered, Luo Feng felt like he was about to be crushed. Masha Clansman. Luo Feng held a stone in his left hand. Who? The stone immediately vanished. Rumble, the endless sand whirlpool immediately crushed Luo Feng. Immediately he was smashed into pieces, following which he was crushed into nothingness by the countless grains. The Human Blade River is dead. His treasures are mine. In the distance, Masha Knight was incredibly excited. He could feel the treasures within the endless sand. He had never realized before that obtaining treasures was so easy. There were at least 6 treasures, and he could actually obtain them so easily. It was simply where are my treasures? Where are they? Masha Knight suddenly let out a loud and furious roar. No matter how he searched, he couldn't find a single treasure. So, in the distance, a golden armored youth appeared. Luo Feng, Blade River Emperor Luo Feng. He's there. The Evil Wing leader and the sage saw him. He was surrounded by the endless sand earlier. How did he suddenly appear 10,000 kilometers away? Was it teleportation? But within the space lock, there's no way to teleport. The Human Blade River. Masha Knight stared in disbelief at the distant Luo Feng. He actually didn't die. Masha Knight roared. The surrounding endless sand madly pressed down on Luo Feng. Who? Luo Feng seemed to vanish into thin air, immediately appearing 10,000 kilometers away. Shio. Luo Feng madly flickered. In the blink of an eye, he was already 10,000 kilometers away. It's not teleportation, it's a natural ability. It's a space-type natural ability domain. The sage frowned. Trouble. The Evil Wing's cult master coiled his body and spread his wings. He turned his head to look at the furious Supremacy Masha and sneered. Old Mud Frog, I'm afraid that Supremacy Masha is the most disappointed among the 3 of us. Luo Feng still managed to escape. This Luo Feng has a natural talent that allows him to escape from even universe lords. Only a few universe overlords can stop him from escaping. Yes, The clay frog wise man nodded. Domain first fused with space before transforming into a divine body. No matter how supremacy Ma-Sha controlled the treasures to attack, he could easily dodge them once they merged into space. Of course, if they encountered the Master of the Universe would be able to completely control a region of space-time. Everything in this region of space-time could be controlled. Even if it merged with space, it could be forcibly kicked out. However, Reverend Ma-Sha, the Mud Frog Sage, and the Evil Wings cult leader could not do it. Damn it, damn it, damn it! He could only watch as Luo Feng escaped, unable to do anything to him. Just the natural ability domain made Ma-Sha Knight feel helpless. He could only rage and roar. The Mud Frog Wise Man and the Evil Wings Hierarch watched all of this with interest. You two didn't even get it. What are you so proud of? Ma-Sha Knight raged. Ma-Sha Knight, you two are an overlord of the universe. Look at you lose your composure. The sage smiled. The Evil Wings cult leader and I weren't proud at all. It's just that the three of us chased that Blade River Emperor Luo Feng together. We both believed that you had a chance of getting it. Hence, we didn't have much hope at the start. Naturally, we weren't disappointed even if we failed. However, you are different. Just as we were about to get the treasure, we didn't expect the Blade River Emperor Luo Feng to still have such a trump card. The treasure slipped away again. Such pain. Ha, we can imagine. Ha ha ha. The Evil Wings cult leader too let out a low laugh. Let's go, the Evil Wings cult leader said. Old Mud Frog. The sage smiled and nodded. Along with the Evil Wings cult leader, their speed rose to light speed and they entered the dark space and left. Damn, bastard, idiot, Ma-Sha Knight's handsome face was filled with malevolence. Even though he was an overlord of the universe, it didn't mean he wasn't angry. It was just that there were very few things that could make him angry. This time, he thought he would get at least 6 treasures, including the Soul Treasure and the Flying Palace Treasure. However, he suddenly missed out. This difference made Ma-Sha Knight feel pain and rage. Blade River. Ma-Sha Knight gritted his teeth and roared. He could only enter the dark space and leave. Within the main palace of the 3 continents of the Flame God clan, Bafeng Knight was extremely careful and didn't dare make sound. He could feel the rage of the Flame Emperor. The Flame Emperor looked coldly at the space. The space rippled and images appeared. Luo Feng was using his natural ability domain to move forward again and again. Very good, my third junior. I've really underestimated you. The Flame Emperor thought, coldly watching the images. Flame Emperor, what do we do now? Bafeng Knight felt the Flame Emperor's energy calm down before speaking. You have a way to kill him? The Flame Emperor looked at Bafeng Knight. If he keeps on fleeing, I have no way to stop him. Bafeng Knight shook his head. This is the natural ability domain. Only special life forms that specialize in concealment and fleeing have it. Rumor has it that within the Ma-Sha clan, only a few have such abilities. Even though these life forms have average battle capabilities, their survivability is extremely strong. Wait, the Flame Emperor looked coldly at the space. Right now, the other alien races are arriving one after another. There are universe overlords and even high-level knights. Who knows, there might be someone who can stop this human Blade River Emperor. Bafeng Knight listened obediently. He was suspicious within. Does the Flame Emperor have to insist on killing this Blade River Emperor Luo Feng? If he really wants to kill him, he could just do it himself. If he does, he can destroy Blade River Emperor Luo Feng with a flick of his hand. However, he doesn't do it himself. He's still watching. That's weird. Within the Flame God's secret area, Luo Feng unleashed his natural ability domain for a while before sitting in the life-form ship and continuing forward. Second Senior, the moment you sealed the space and covered the dark universe coordinates, I guess your intentions. Luo Feng raised his wine glass. Hence I got my slave to bring my golden horned beast body and my many treasures back to the human domain. Earth deity, Ma-Sha race clone, serene ocean clone. These 3 don't even have a single treasure. Even if I fail, I'll just waste some energy. Luo Feng sneered. Luo Feng wasn't an idiot. Knowing that the Flame Emperor wouldn't easily return the plunder armor, he naturally wouldn't risk the Pagoda Pearl or the Killing Wu Wings. Letting the Golden Horned Beast bring the treasures back to the human domain would naturally allow him to face any difficulties. Previously, when they had been attacked by Supremacy Ma Sha's domain-type treasure, the Earthling's main body had been destroyed, but the Masha clone had escaped with the World Ring. The Netherworld Ocean clone was hidden in the World Ring. With the divine power contained in the Netherworld Ocean clone, it had easily restored the Earthling's main body that had been destroyed. This time, I've revealed one of my trump cards for escaping. My secret talent, Domain. Luo Feng squinted. The Primal Chaos City Leader teacher said before, this technique, against the Universe Lord, has a 100% chance of escaping. I've revealed this technique to get the Plunder Armor. The Plunder Armor, I have to get it. Luo Feng looked into space. He guessed that the Flame Emperor was observing his every move. If it's mine, it's mine. Even if you want to keep it, you won't be able to. Luo Feng smiled. Times following the arrival of the Evil Wing Leader and the first batch of 3 Universe Overlords, very quickly, the other Universe Overlords and high-level knights from the various superpowers all rushed over from the distant territories. Using the God Country teleportation and teleportation techniques, they swiftly rushed towards the Flame God Clan. Their numbers grew. As Luo Feng was deep within the space seal, the other warriors couldn't catch up at all. Hence, the Flame Emperor shrunk the space seal by close to 100 light-years. This way, the other pursuers could easily catch up to Luo Feng. Second Senior, you're really shameless. Luo Feng laughed within. Shio. Luo Feng didn't hesitate this time. First, he teleported to the edge of the space seal and used his natural ability Domain to swiftly enter the space seal. When the fastest foreign warrior caught up, he was a few million km away from Luo Feng, and the natural ability Domain was enough to make the other foreign warriors give up. When Luo Feng entered the depths of the space seal, the others that arrived later didn't even have the chance to try. A bunch of trash. The Flame Emperor's gaze caused the floating images to shatter. At this time, he didn't even bother to hide his rage and unleashed it. The entire palace seemed to be engulfed in a sea of rage. Beside him, Bafeng Knight was filled with shock and fear. He didn't understand why Luo Feng didn't die and why the Flame Emperor would be so angry. Step down. The Flame Emperor glanced at him. Yes. Bafeng Knight said respectfully and stepped into the blurry red light and left. Trash, a bunch of trash. The Flame Emperor hadn't been this angry in a long time. His scheme against Luo Feng failed, and Luo Feng, taking the Calamity Armor, made him furious. Third Junior, you can slowly fly. It'll still take over 100 years to reach me. The Flame Emperor said coldly. He had already shrunk the space ceiling region twice. He was, after all, a high and mighty master of the universe. It was only because Mountain Passenger and the Tribulation Armor were involved that he lost his composure and did something as shameless as shrinking the space ceiling region twice. The Primal Star is about to open. I'll first head to the Primal Star to battle. Maybe I'll get a treasure comparable to the Calamity Armor. The Flame Emperor thought. However, he knew the chances of that were extremely low, as he had experienced the Primal Star opening many times. Even though he had gotten many treasures, most of them were normal. There were very few high-level treasures and none of the pinnacle treasures. Of course, from his exploration and killing in the other regions, he paid a huge price to prepare a pinnacle armor as a backup. However, comparing treasures was the worst. That pinnacle armor, compared to the Calamity Armor, was on a completely different level. Humph. The Flame Emperor sat in his throne. Looking at the endless space, he closed his eyes and waited for the Primal Star to open. He had no way of dealing with Luo Feng. After all, with Mountain Passenger as a deterrent, he didn't dare go overboard. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1053. The hunt for Luo Feng could be said to be all talk and no action. Before, it was grand and majestic attracting many absolute warriors from every race of the universe to rush over. However, Luo Feng's natural talent domain, the moment it was unleashed, at least those who were chasing him back then had no choice but to give up. As for the absolute warriors who rushed over later, as they were too late, Luo Feng had long entered the space lock region. They had no way of chasing him. Hence, the matter ended just like that. However, at the same time, Luo Feng's secret move, natural talent domain, was spread. At least the 10 warriors who were chasing him all knew about it. 1 to 10, 10 to 100. Naturally, it was spread. This made many of the other races shocked. The human Blade River Emperor actually had such a powerful move. He actually looks down on me. Pei Feng Knight was even more enraged when he heard the news. Back when I fought him, he actually hid this move, fighting me without going all out. Blade River, you sure are vicious. This human Blade River dodged yet another attack. Why is he so hard to kill? After Bark Mirror Emperor found out, he was even more enraged, his roar causing the walls of the study room to shatter. The other races were shocked. The human race was shocked too. The natural talent domain was a natural talent gifted by the universe. It couldn't be acquired through training. Just with this move, Blade River Emperor can live for a long time on Primal Star. Just with this move, as long as he doesn't meet a universe lord, he can live. The natural talent domain is heavenly. The majority of the knights have no way of dealing with it. However, there are still some that are heavenly. Like the legendary strongest world tree, combined with his natural talent, it's already comparable to a universe lord's control of space and time. There are also other special life forms that can suppress the natural talent domain. Asterisk, 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 the discussions of the outside world. Luo Feng roughly understood it through the virtual universe. This made him exclaim, to gain the respect of the other warriors, one had to rely on strength. Before, many human knights thought Luo Feng was looking for death by going to Primal Star. However, now that the natural talent domain was revealed, there were obviously fewer who thought he was looking for death. Domain, it's just for escaping. On Primal Star, when treasures appear, to fight for them, one has to fight and kill. Luo Feng thought. Just relying on escaping isn't enough. Armor, I have to get it. Compared to the tribulation armor, the exposure of his innate secret technique, domain, was not even worth mentioning. This tribulation armor was a priceless treasure that even the Flare Emperor and other super existences coveted. Even the primal Chaos City Master would be willing to risk his life and kill for such a treasure. Time passed, year after year. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. Luo Feng, at the peak of the Lightning Island, the primal Chaos City Master stood at the edge of the cliff, looking down. Tomorrow the Primal Star will open. I heard you intend to go too? Yes, teacher. Luo Feng stood behind the primal Chaos City leader. What's the plan? Who do you want to form a team with? Did you invite any experts? The primal Chaos City Master asked. No. Luo Feng shook his head. If you want to form a team with someone, I can help. The primal Chaos City Lord said, your strength is still slightly weak. Universe high-level warriors usually find 2 to 3 experts to complement each other and increase their chances of survival. You should also find suitable experts to help each other. Who will I form a team with? Luo Feng shook his head. Universe high-level warriors forming a team doesn't mean much to me. As for forming a team with the universe overlords, even if they are willing, it would probably be because of you. In their hearts, they would probably think I'm dragging them down. It's better for me to go alone. Alone? The primal Chaos City leader was shocked. Your disciple is only going to experience it. I'll be careful. Luo Feng said. Right? You have the Blood Ocean as your foundation. The primal Chaos City leader nodded. You can handle everything yourself. However, Luo Feng, why did you go to the Flame God clan and reveal your innate technique domain? Any trump card that's revealed is no longer a trump card. If the enemy wants to deal with you, they'll have to make preparations to deal with this move. Hence, the more powerful the move, the more you have to hide it. Unless it's a critical moment, you can't use it. Your disciple understands. Luo Feng said, Your disciple is going to the Flame God clan because of some personal matters. Personal matters? The Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng with interest. I won't bother too much with personal matters. Only that the Flame God clan is the Flame Emperor's territory. That Flame Emperor is an extremely strong being amongst the Universe Lords. Back then, in terms of talent and improvement, he probably wasn't any weaker than you, and was equally dazzling. If you've checked the information, you should know that the Flame Emperor was originally a human. The Primal Chaos City leader said softly, maybe it's because he was too dazzling, growing, and becoming invincible. No one at the same level could match up to him. He's never lost, winning time and time again. Hence, he doesn't even put anyone in his eyes. He's extremely heroic and fearless. Indeed, he's a strong warrior. However, he lacks fear too. Maybe he thinks no one can suppress him. His ambition is too big, and he's not willing to be below others. The Primal Chaos City leader shook his head. Luo Feng listened quietly. His ambition was too big, and he wasn't willing to be below others? And he has a flaw in his personality. He only remembers how others treat him badly, and doesn't remember how well they treat him. The Primal Chaos City leader shook his head. After becoming a Universe Lord, because of his numerous battles, he became even more arrogant and extremely selfish. Extremely selfish? Luo Feng was shocked within. He actually tried to kill a Universe Lord from his own race. The Primal Chaos City leader sighed, just to steal the treasures. Many conflicts erupted at once. The creator of the huge axe finally decided to punish him, and only wanted to lock him up to make him reflect. Who would have thought that he would actually bring his people from his home and betray humanity and leave? He's become a joke of the entire universe. Luo Feng was shocked within. He's indeed a genius. The Primal Chaos City leader exclaimed, looking at you, it's like looking at him back then. He was nurtured to become an absolute warrior, and finally turn around to bite back. Even during the race wars, when the absolute warriors fight, he's even more ruthless against humanity. The Primal Chaos City leader shook his head. Luo Feng, if he wants to make a move against you, immediately summon me. I'll definitely rush over immediately. Luo Feng nodded. This conversation shocked Luo Feng. His second senior was actually like that. Selfish? Right, it's selfish. The armor was left for me by Teacher Mountain Passenger, yet he thought of ways to keep it. Luo Feng recalled his own experiences and was wary of this second senior. The second day, the primal planet opened. This was a huge event for the trillions of races in the universe. Of course, the Undyings didn't even know that this was a slaughter feast for the absolute warriors. Even though Luo Feng was in the Flame God race's territory and couldn't personally witness the opening of the primal planet through the virtual universe, he was still able to watch the scenes of the many pathways opening. The scenes of the pathways opening were earth-shattering. The power was limitless. Every pathway's power was even more terrifying than the Universe Lords. Following which, many teams from different powers began to rush into the primal planet. 10,081 pathways were scattered throughout the universe. The trillions of races formed the absolute powers, the absolute beings, either by themselves or in groups of 2 or 3, flew into the pathways and entered the primal planet. 10,081 primal planets. The bloody slaughter began. The universe is taking care of me. The armor is about to be taken away by my third junior. Teacher Mountain Passenger is watching me and can't do anything. Taking away one armor. Who knows, I might get even better treasures. The Flame Emperor's majestic silhouette passed through one pathway and landed on another primal planet. The life ship traveled through the mist and space. Luo Feng's days were extremely peaceful. He spent most of his energy on the space laws and the beast god path. During the 80,000 years he spent creating his absolute arts, Luo Feng's space laws had already comprehended the second mystery seal. As for the third, he was close to comprehending it too. Comprehending the 3 mysteries and merging them into one, he would truly step into the realm of a universe knight. Obviously, Luo Feng still needed a long period of time. The primal planet is really cruel. Even though Luo Feng didn't go, he still watched a few videos brought out by the warriors from the primal planet. The primal planet was the closest place to the universe laws, a true treasure planet. It was also filled with danger, and stepping into the primal planet, one couldn't connect to the virtual universe. This was the first place Luo Feng knew of that couldn't connect to the virtual universe. My decision was wise. If I didn't have the armor, with my current strength, I would only be able to flee. Luo Feng endured silently. And during his peaceful 100 years, due to the appearance of the treasures, there were 12 large-scale battles on the primal planet. In these 12 large-scale bloody battles, hundreds of universe venerables and over 20 universe overlords had fallen, but the universe lords were all fine. Of course, the large powers of the universe were especially excited about the battles, because the more valuable the treasures, the more warriors they would send, regardless of the cost. There isn't even a clear video. Luo Feng shook his head. That's right, that level of mad slaughter, destruction, and destruction. There's indeed no way to record it clearly. It's a pity these 12 large-scale battles have nothing to do with me. However, very soon they will be. Luo Feng stood in the control room. Through the external simulation, he looked at the distant 3 huge continents. That was the legendary place of the Flame God race. Even though he had seen the 3 continents long ago, the distance was too far. He still had to fly for over a month before finally reaching the border. This is the territory of our Flame God race. Human, you actually dare to come here. A Flame God silver-armored Undying flew over, his eyes filled with rage. Humph! Luo Feng frowned. His aura emanated and suppressed the Undying. Flame Emperor, I've already arrived at your Flame God race territory. Luo Feng looked at the palace in the center of the 3 continents, and his voice resounded. Show yourself. Author's note. Wow, I've finished the 4th and 5th chapters in one go. Who? Completed. The 5th chapter was completed. I strongly request for my monthly and recommended votes to Tomato. Tomorrow Tomato will definitely sleep till noon. Hence tomorrow's 2 chapters will be updated at night. Asterisk, to be continued. If you like this work, please come Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1054. Presumptuous. The Flame God, Undying, roared. A long spear suddenly appeared in his palm and pointed at Luo Feng. Human, do you think the Flame Emperor is someone you can meet just because you want to? The Flame Emperor was the absolute leader of the Flame God race. Even though Luo Feng's strength was extremely strong, this Flame God warrior didn't retreat at all. Luo Feng glanced at the Flame God, Undying. Under his pressure, he was still filled with fighting spirit. He immediately expanded his God energy and engulfed the Flame God, Undying. Under absolute strength, the Flame God, Undying's raging eyes were about to spit fire. However, he couldn't even make sound. Luo Feng looked at the distant palace and said, Flame Emperor, even a normal Undying dares to roar at me. Don't tell me you don't dare to show yourself. This is your race's base and also the space you control. Don't pretend that you didn't hear what I said. After saying that, Luo Feng waited silently. No one was stupid. This was the base of the Flame God race. The Flame Emperor definitely had absolute monitoring methods. If the Emperor pretended not to hear, he would be treating Luo Feng like a fool. After a while, rumble, the distant main palace emitted a powerful God energy ripple, following which the space lock from before closed. A silhouette flashed and appeared before Luo Feng. Is this the human blade, River Emperor Luo Feng? A tall and sturdy horned bald man dressed in black armor said. He was about 10 m tall, and his skin was covered in a layer of scales, almost like snake scales. Even his face was covered in scales. Only his head was bald and shiny. Right, Luo Feng nodded. This tall and sturdy horned bald man was a universe knight of the Flame God race. I'm Bingwei Knight. The bald, one-horned venerable laughed. The Flare Emperor asked me to wait here for Blade River King, and I've finally waited. The moment I knew that Blade River King had arrived, I immediately closed the spatial seal protecting the clan. Luo Feng scoffed within. Closed? The space lock was probably specially prepared for him. As the two conversed, the flame god undying that was suppressed by Luo Feng's god energy couldn't hear anything. Can Blade River Emperor let my clansmen go? The Horn Knight said. Luo Feng immediately retracted his god energy. The one-horned venerable immediately turned to look at the clansmen and shouted, "Retreat quickly." "Yes, sovereign." The undying warrior bowed respectfully, then teleported away. The one-horned knight smiled at Luo Feng. "Blade River Emperor, please follow me." Luo Feng nodded and didn't refuse. He was not afraid of the Flare Emperor playing tricks. He had not arrived here before, so encountering some obstructions was nothing. However, since he had already arrived at the base of the Flame God race, if the Flame Emperor played any tricks, he would be insulting Luo Feng and his teacher Mountain Passenger. The two of them teleported forward and arrived at the palace complex. The flames around the palace parted to form a path. At the end of the path were 2 rows of Flame God race, undying warriors. Luo Feng and the Horn Knight walked side by side. "Where's the Flame Emperor?" Luo Feng asked. "That's the main hall." The one-horned venerable pointed at the tallest palace in the distance. "This is also the residence of the Flare Emperor. The 2 palaces beside it are side halls, where ordinary guests stay temporarily. Saber River King, wait in the side hall first. When the Flare Emperor arrives, you will naturally meet him." Luo Feng's expression changed. "Stall for time." Luo Feng stared at the one-horned venerable. "Did the Flame Emperor order you this? Have you informed him of my arrival?" "Don't tell me there's no way to inform him." "Humph. The Flame Emperor is the only universe lord of the entire Flame God race. He will definitely grasp the news of this place." "Blade River Emperor, don't be anxious." The one-horned venerable didn't care about Luo Feng's anger. "I've just sent the news to the Flame Emperor. However, he is currently on the Primal Star. Hence, returning from the Primal Star, using the God Country's teleportation, it'll only take a moment." Luo Feng said coldly. "Lead the way. I'll temporarily follow your arrangements and wait in the side hall. I want to see when the Flame Emperor will appear. Please follow me." The one-horned venerable walked coldly in front. The two of them entered the side hall one after another. The one-horned venerable ordered his servants to prepare some delicacies and left immediately. A punk actually dares to be so arrogant. The one-horned venerable stood in the distance. Looking at the side hall, he laughed coldly. Even though he's an undying life form, he's merely an intermediate knight. At most, he's good at escaping. He actually dares to be disrespectful to our Flame Emperor. If it wasn't for him ordering me not to cause trouble, I'll definitely let you know the consequences of being disrespectful to him. The one-horned venerable turned and left. He couldn't be bothered with Luo Feng at all. Within the side hall, delicacies from various parts of the universe were placed on the table. There were also many types of wine. Just this food alone was enough for an emperor-level undying to spend all of his wealth. "This second senior of mine, sure, is arrogant." Luo Feng sat there. News of my whereabouts being leaked. It's almost certain that he was the one who spread it. He obviously knew I was coming, yet he delayed. My arrival this time was on Mountain Traveler's orders. Once I'm strong enough to activate the armor, I'll retrieve it. This was Mountain Traveler Teacher's orders. He's acting like a universe lord. Luo Feng shook his head. The armor was originally Luo Feng's item. The Flame Emperor had used it for so long. Now that the owner Luo Feng had appeared, not only was he not in a rush to return it, he even ordered his subordinates to deal with Luo Feng. "I'll wait. Let's see how long I have to wait." Luo Feng thought. This matter has already gotten out of hand. Large amounts of absolute warriors from the universe are chasing after me. News is flying everywhere. Mountain Traveler Teacher definitely knows and is paying attention to this. Second senior brother, Teacher Mountain Traveler is watching. I want to see how far you can put on airs. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 month, 2 months. There was no news at all. The Flame Emperor just didn't show himself. Delay, continue to delay. Luo Feng closed his eyes. His consciousness connected to the virtual universe to meditate while he waited. His strength wasn't enough. He could only wait. 3RD Jr., let me first suppress your arrogance. The absolute genius of the human race? Oof, I was even stronger than you back then. I'll let you understand that you should respect your seniors. The Flame Emperor sat crossed-legged in an ancient forest on the primal planet. He carefully felt the ripples in the distance. If any treasures were to appear, there would be a special movement. Luo Feng had been waiting in the palace for over a year. During this time, he had been patiently waiting. Suddenly one day, Luo Feng was meditating crossed-legged. Rumble, a powerful pressure spread out, enveloping the entire void palace complex, causing the countless servants and undying warriors to immediately bow respectfully. Luo Feng opened his eyes. He's finally here. Rumble. The space around him immediately changed. Luo Feng only felt the scene before him change, and he was already in a vast palace. On the throne sat a majestic silhouette. His entire body was covered in dense scales. That huge horn, he looked exactly like the flame god race. His eyes gazed down at Luo Feng. A formless pressure made Luo Feng feel like he was in a furnace. Second Senior. Luo Feng looked up at the Flame Emperor and smiled. Second Senior has finally arrived. I've waited for a long time. Rumble. The majestic silhouette stood up and walked down step by step. As he walked down the stairs, his body shrunk. By the time he reached the bottom, he was already the same height as Luo Feng. From Luo Feng's perspective as an Earth person, the Flame Emperor had a domineering aura that shot through the skies. It was a domineering aura. That domineering aura came from his bones and soul. It was naturally emitted without any intent. This was different from some arrogant and domineering warriors that people hated. The Flame Emperor's domineering aura only made people exclaim that this was an overlord. Third Junior. The Flame Emperor looked at Luo Feng with a smile in his eyes. Senior on Primal Planet, fighting for treasures with countless other races. Coincidentally, at the crucial moment of the birth of treasure, hence I was delayed. I believe you won't mind. Of course I won't mind, Luo Feng said. HM. The Flame Emperor nodded. I've chatted with Pu Ti. Teacher Mountain Passenger has instructed me on some things. As for you, I've specially gathered some information. You are indeed a rare, absolute genius of the human race. However, you should know that all of this was given to you by Teacher Mountain Passenger. Hence, you mustn't be arrogant. You have to train humbly and quickly become a Universe Knight, or even a Universe Lord. Your first senior and I have been waiting for this day. Luo Feng frowned. He didn't like the Flame Emperor's high and mighty attitude. However, he still replied, I'll naturally work hard. Your luck isn't bad. To be able to survive the Star Pagoda life and death inheritance and become Teacher Mountain Passenger's third disciple. The Flame Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Hence you should treasure this opportunity and not disappoint him. Second Senior. Luo Feng said directly, My goal for coming here, I believe you know it. Ha! For the plunder armor, of course I know. The Flame Emperor smiled at Luo Feng. Towards this third junior, the Flame Emperor instinctively hated him, as back then Mountain Passenger gave his all to nurture him. Hence he was considered one of the top absolute geniuses in the universe. And the current Luo Feng wasn't any weaker than him. Even the Flame Emperor knew this third junior would one day possess the ultimate treasure, Star Pagoda. The Flame Emperor saw a huge threat from Luo Feng. However, Luo Feng was also the third disciple that Mountain Passenger gave his all to nurture. He had no way of stopping him. Towards his first senior, Pu Ti, the Flame Emperor didn't even bother with him. He was just a servant of Mountain Passenger's teacher. His strength was much weaker than his. However, towards his third junior, the Flame Emperor was extremely cautious. Right? I'm here for the plunder armor, Luo Feng said. Teacher Mountain Passenger instructed me to retrieve it from second senior after I can activate it. Hence, I'm here now. The plunder armor is an absolute treasure of the vast universe. The Flame Emperor looked at Luo Feng. Its power is boundless. You're only an undying now in your strength, is too weak. You can't even unleash much of its power. In fact, you might even lose the tribulation armor in your hands. From what I see, for the plunder armor, and for yourself, you should train more and raise your strength to become a universe knight. It won't be too late to retrieve the plunder armor then. I'll temporarily keep it safe for you. Once you become a universe knight, I'll give it to you. P.S. First chapter here. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1055. Within the palace. Luo Feng, who had always been unhappy with the Flame Emperor, raged within. The armor is my own item, whether I can use it or not, whether I lose it. What does that have to do with you? I'm under Teacher Mountain Passenger's orders to retrieve the armor. You just have to give it to me. What's the point of all this nonsense? Even though he was raging, Luo Feng could only suppress it. The Flame Emperor smiled and looked at Luo Feng. Junior, train well, and quickly step into the Universe Knight level. That way you can use the armor. Second senior brother. Luo Feng smiled too. You don't have the armor. Even though you were chased by countless warriors of the universe before, you were still able to survive. If you have the armor, naturally your strength will rise greatly, and you won't die so easily. Second senior brother, you don't have to worry about me. Just give me the armor. Don't leave it to luck. The Flame Emperor roared fiercely, his voice shaking Luo Feng's soul. The tribulation armor is a supreme treasure that even the masters of the universe yearn for. How could you have such wishful thinking? The Flame Emperor stared at Luo Feng, his aura emanating, causing Luo Feng to feel like an endless mountain was pressing down on him. Even though this armor is yours, it's still something Teacher Mountain Passenger paid a huge price to craft. You have to guarantee that it won't be lost. I'm doing this for your own good. Train well. Once you reach the Universe Knight level, I'll naturally give it to you. The Flame Emperor's voice rumbled, stirring Luo Feng's soul. However, Luo Feng's willpower was extremely strong. Even without the protection of the pearl, his willpower and consciousness was still at the level of a universe lord, and the Flame Emperor was, after all, just a powerful universe lord that specialized in close combat, and just relying on his voice to make a universe lord change his mind was obviously far from enough. Second senior, are you not going to give me the armor? Luo Feng stared at the Flame Emperor. Humph. The Flame Emperor's rage immediately surged. In an instant, the entire palace was filled with waves of rage. That pressure pressed down on Luo Feng. The Flame Emperor's solemn voice resounded. Third Junior, I'm under Teacher Mountain Passenger's orders to protect the armor for you for 1 trillion years. I'll give it to you when you're strong enough. Right now, even though you can use it, your strength is still very weak. I'm thinking for your own good. If you lose it, wouldn't I disappoint Teacher Mountain Passenger? That won't be necessary. Luo Feng wasn't moved at all. If I lose the armor, I'll explain it to Teacher Mountain Guest. Explain? How are you going to explain it? Shouted the Flare Emperor. That has nothing to do with Senior. Luo Feng replied stiffly. You've really become arrogant just because you have some achievements. The Flare Emperor shook his head. Luo Feng looked at the Flare Emperor, his voice calm. Second Senior, let's not talk too much. I'm here today to retrieve the armor. Are you going to give it to me or not? You're not strong enough, the Flare Emperor said. Since Second Senior Brother doesn't want to give it to me, and I don't have the ability to take it by force, then I can only report it to Teacher Mountain Passenger. If Teacher Mountain Passenger feels that the Calamity Armor should remain in Second Senior's hands, then I naturally won't come and disturb Second Senior. Luo Feng slightly bowed. I'll be leaving first. No need to send me off. Luo Feng turned and left. The Flare Emperor's expression changed. From the beginning to the end, he didn't dare to directly say no. He always wanted Luo Feng to back off. If Luo Feng really did back off, then the Flare Emperor believed that with Mountain Passenger's personality, he wouldn't interfere. After all, Luo Feng was the one who gave up on the armor. This matter, no matter what, the Flare Emperor couldn't just not give it to him. That would be going against Mountain Passenger's orders. Third Junior, shouted the Flare Emperor. Luo Feng didn't stop, flying straight out. Stop! The Flare Emperor shouted softly. The surrounding space shook. Luo Feng felt the scene before him change, and he was back in the palace. Luo Feng looked at the Flare Emperor. "Why are you forcefully stopping me? I still have to go see Teacher Mountain Passenger. When did I say I wouldn't give you the armor? I only said that you're still very weak." The Flare Emperor frowned. "Since you insist on taking it, then, as your senior, I've said all that needs to be said and warned you. If you don't listen to me, there's nothing I can do. If you lose the armor in the future, don't blame me. This is the armor." The Flare Emperor flipped his hand, and a translucent armor that looked like it was carved out of a huge diamond appeared in his palm. The translucent armor had engravings on it, sometimes visible and sometimes hidden. The entire armor in his palm was like an unreachable god mountain pressing down on his heart, causing Luo Feng to hold his breath. Luo Feng stared at the armor, unable to contain his excitement. Armor. This was the armor. It had produced large amounts of armors, general armors, emperor armors. It was an absolute treasure that Mountain Passenger had prepared for his third disciple. Even the pinnacle of universe lords, the Flare Emperor, couldn't bear to part with this armor. After all, over the years, he hadn't been able to rely on himself to obtain a treasure that could compare to the armor in Flame God Halberd. "Still not taking it?" the Flare Emperor said. Luo Feng immediately extended his hand. His god energy was like silk wrapping around the armor. A thread of god energy drilled into the armor, imprinting his life within. Simultaneously, the armor immediately sent an ancient message into Luo Feng's consciousness. "So," Luo Feng flipped his hand and kept the armor in his world ring. "Second senior, I'll be leaving first. If there's a chance in the future, I'll come see you again." Luo Feng smiled. "I'm here. Third junior, you can come anytime," the Flare Emperor said. Luo Feng turned and stepped forward, swiftly leaving the main palace. After a while, he followed the endless flames of the palace and left. As the palace was completely isolated from the space ripples of the outside world, there was no way to teleport out from within. Probably only the master of the palace, the Flare Emperor, could teleport out. So, the moment he left the palace, Luo Feng immediately teleported and swiftly left. Using the god country teleportation of the slaves, he swiftly left the Flame God race territory. The Flare Emperor stood outside the main palace, leaning on the railing and gazing through space, watching Luo Feng leave through the god country teleportation. Third junior, the Flare Emperor said softly. Powerful, the life and death inheritance. The previous two geniuses all died, yet he actually succeeded. Even though he said Luo Feng was lucky before, the Flare Emperor was very clear. The sitting mountain guest had cast a wide net when choosing a disciple. There were countless life forms on Earth, and in trillions of years, only Luo Feng had succeeded. This wasn't just because the sitting mountain guest nurtured him. It was also because Luo Feng himself was very outstanding. The Flare Emperor had experienced many trials and tribulations back then, and he was very clear that the sitting mountain guest didn't set him too hard. The life and death inheritance that his third junior encountered was truly terrifying. The armor was eventually taken by him. The Flare Emperor gradually calmed down. Even though he was wary of Luo Feng, he didn't put him a heart. After all, even if Luo Feng became a universe lord and had a star pagoda, he would at most be one of the most terrifying beings amongst the universe lords. He could suppress him, but not kill him. Unless Luo Feng became the strongest in the universe. How rare are the strongest in the universe? A race with the strongest in the universe is the pinnacle of races. A power with the strongest in the universe is the pinnacle of the universe. The Flare Emperor sighed. They are able to reverse space-time and revive the hegemons of the universe, and they are able to easily resist the backlash of the universe. Their abilities are incomparably heaven-defying. Wherever they go, they control the heavens and earth. Their words are law, and even the laws of the universe have to temporarily retreat. Teacher Sitting Mountain Guest is one of them. Becoming the strongest, only then will I be the true ruler. The Flare Emperor's eyes were filled with desire. He had an intense, unyielding ambition, and because of this ambition, he was able to raise his strength rapidly. Even though he had the sitting mountain guest to nurture him, in terms of training, he had to rely on himself to comprehend and break through. He was currently already at the pinnacle of the universe, lords. As long as he took one more step, he would reach the highest position, and that would be the strongest in the universe. What was the strongest? Just the three words "the strongest" represented the most fundamental meaning, and that was the absolute strongest. Wanting to lead a power, one would be able to dominate a region of the universe. Wanting to be alone, the rest of the universe wouldn't dare provoke them. Wanting to recruit geniuses, one could rush to other races to snatch them, and no one would dare stop them. This was the strongest in the universe. Just one more step, teacher sitting mountain guest, and I'll be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. Only this last step. The Flare Emperor immediately turned and returned to the main palace. Human territory, Ganwu Universe country, in space. Masha Luo Feng walked out of a deep hole on a normal desolate planet. This place is about 3,300 light years away from my god country. The Masha clansman took a step forward. So, he was already 1,000 light years away. In terms of compatibility with space, the Masha clansman was actually stronger than the universe paragons. After absorbing the essence of a space heart and transforming it into a special life form, the Masha clansman's compatibility with space had reached an extremely high level. It even had the innate ability domain. Back then, he could teleport over 100 light years in one go. And after reaching undying, be it God's strength, consciousness, etc., his senses were much stronger. His teleportation distance was no less than a night's. So, with 3 teleportations, he tore through space and entered a space crevice, and with another teleportation, he arrived in his god country. The god country was boundless, and the endless dark ocean was also slowly expanding. In the air above the endless dark ocean, within the shrine that was glowing with a glaring gold light, Luo Feng, who had teleported, walked out. With a step, he stood on the surface of the endless dark ocean. Calamity armor. On the surface of Luo Feng's godly body, there was a layer of transparent armor. The armor and the godly body were one. It was as though every tiny part of the armor had completely fused with every cell in Luo Feng's body. An endless amount of energy filled Luo Feng's godly body. This energy was boundless and unparalleled. Luo Feng closed his eyes and immersed himself in its power. Indeed, a treasure that teacher mountain traveler specially prepared for me. Luo Feng sighed softly. Back at the Flare Emperor's place, he had already received news of the armor. The Calamity armor was a very special armor. It was different from the other treasures. Normal treasures relied on origin law comprehension to activate them. And this armor had nothing to do with origin law comprehension. Instead, it relied on the strength of the body. Just like the soldier armor, general armor, and emperor armor, it had extremely high requirements for the body. This armor was the same. The stronger the body, the more power the armor could unleash. Rumble. A huge silhouette suddenly appeared in the distant sky. It was the golden horned beast. Let's try this armor. Luo Feng smiled. So, a crystal armor separated from Luo Feng's body and became a beam of light, flying straight into the golden horned beast and entering its body. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Next Monday, requesting recommendation votes. We need to maintain our first position on the recommendation board. Asterisk, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1056. Luo Feng received the armor and completely felt its power. Only then did his consciousness connect to the virtual universe, preparing to inform his teacher True Yen that he was heading to the primal star. Virtual universe. Thunder Island's mountainside was almost boundless. Before True Yen's palace, there were 6 silhouettes sitting there, drinking and chatting. According to legend, a magnificent divine temple suddenly rose up on a vast plain on one of the primitive stars. There was an ancient stone tablet in front of the divine temple, and detailed information about a top-notch treasure was recorded on the stone tablet. With this treasure, one would be able to escape and shake off the enemy, and in battle, one would be able to easily shatter layers of space. It was absolutely a first-rate treasure for escaping and attacking. This top-notch treasure was called the Heavenly Gilt Sail. A muscular man with a triangular head grabbed a strange wine flask and gulped down large mouthfuls of it. He clicked his tongue and sighed. Immediately, 3 universe lords, 18 universe overlords, and over 100 universe supremacies rushed into this temple. Soon, the temple closed. 6 years later, the temple opened again, but only half survived. It's said that the Heavenly Gilded Sail was eventually taken by the Universe Lord of the Northern Border Alliance. Is that true? Ijo Knight, don't brag like last time. Ijo Knight, how come we don't know about this? The other 5 knights, including True Yin, laughed beside him. Ijo Knight stared, his eyes wide open. Brag? I didn't brag the last time either. But what you said last time was the story of the opening of the Primal Star. A werewolf knight covered in green fur mocked. The Heavenly Gilt Sail I was talking about was the top treasure that appeared during the opening of the Primal Star. Ijo Knight stared. I've made countless friends. Many of them have returned from the Primal Star and told me all sorts of stories. I only found out about the Heavenly Gilt Sail today and immediately told you all. You even said I was bragging. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. In a few years, when the news of the Heavenly Gilt Sail spreads, you all will know. Don't be angry, Ijo Knight. Tell us more about the appearance of this top treasure. Tell us more. I'll prepare some wine for you. The other venerables laughed and said. Only then did Honorable Ingzhou feel pleased with himself. He gulped down all the wine in the flagon, then handed it over and said, Fill it up. You're being too greedy. These supreme treasures are so valuable that even the masters of the universe would go crazy over them. Supremacy Gui Zhou shook his head and sighed. The Primal Star has only been open for a little over 100 years. How could there be so many stories of supreme treasures? If a few more supreme treasures appear, I'm afraid some of the universe lords will fall. Hey look, isn't that the Blade River Emperor Luo Feng? Zhen Yin, your disciple is here. These knights looked at the distant silhouette flying over. It was Luo Feng. I heard that your disciple was chased by countless foreign experts in the Flame God Race's territory over 100 years ago, but he was fine. Zhen Yin, at least your disciple's escape methods are better than yours. Of course you're stronger than me. Zhen Yin smiled. He is the future pillar of the human race. Of course, he has powerful life-saving means. During the conversation, Luo Feng had already flown over. Teacher, Luo Feng smiled. Luo Feng, come sit. Zhen Yin pointed to a seat beside him. Luo Feng smiled and sat. He looked at the other knights and smiled. Everyone is here. We don't dare go to the Primal Star's opening, but we should at least listen to the news and learn more about it. An old man with long fur all over his body that looked like a lion smiled. Right, Blade River Emperor. I heard you wanted to go to the Primal Star. Why haven't you gone yet? The moment one entered the Primal Star, there was no way to connect to the virtual universe. How do you know Blade River Emperor hasn't gone yet? He has his talent in cloning techniques. Maybe he left one in our human territory. Naturally, he can enter the virtual universe anytime. Supremacy Gui Zhou stared. That makes sense. Supremacy Gui Zhou is right. The others all laughed and looked at Luo Feng. Blade River Emperor, have you gone to the Primal Star yet? Not yet. Luo Feng smiled. However, I'll be there soon. I'm here to tell my teacher that I'm about to enter the Primal Star. Immediately, Venerable True Yin was slightly surprised. Blade River Emperor, who are you going with? Don't tell me you're going alone. The Wolfman Knight said. Luo Feng nodded. I'll go in alone. That's too dangerous. Even the high-level knights of the universe have fallen. Blade River Emperor, it's best you work with the other warriors. They all advised. Luo Feng smiled. No problem. I'll gain some experience. I have some detailed information about the Primal Star. It's all about the things that have happened over these 100 years. Supremacy Gay, Zhou's bronze bell, like eyes looked at Luo Feng. I like to make friends and gather information. The amount of information I have, even if I don't dare say I'm number one, I'm definitely in the top 3. When I return, I'll send you a copy of the information. Take a good look at it before you enter. You'll have a better understanding of the situation on the primal star. Luo Feng was overjoyed within. Thank you, Supremacy Gui Zhou. Supremacy Gui Zhou indeed has a lot of information. Tru Yin smiled and nodded. However, Blade River Emperor, Supremacy Gui Zhou stared. The more I gather, the more I feel that the danger within the primal star is completely random. Before, it's incomparably calm. Who knows, treasures might suddenly appear. That commotion would immediately attract the absolute warriors, and the weak would immediately be annihilated. From what I see, with your strength entering, along with the treasures you have, you'll attract the jealousy of the other races. I'm afraid your chances of surviving won't exceed 10%. 10%? It can't be. Luo Feng has the natural talent domain. It won't exceed 10%. The other knights all shook their heads. Before, Luo Feng had escaped from the pursuit of large numbers of the other races. His name had spread far and wide. Luo Feng was stunned. That low? Is it because of the Universe Lords? Luo Feng frowned. The Universe Lords are strong. This time, the Primal Star has gathered more than half of the Universe Lords. However, it's after all scattered across the 10081 Primal Stars. The total number of Universe Lords is very small. Most of the Primal Stars don't even have a Universe Lord. The chances of meeting a Universe Lord is still very low. I said your chances of surviving are low. It's not because of the Universe Lord. It's because of the environment of the Primal Star. Venerable Gay Zhou said, every primeval star is only so big, yet so many high-level venerables and universe hegemons of the universe are gathered there. The moment you are discovered, those foreign race experts will immediately target your innate ability domain, making it impossible for you to escape before killing you. Luo Feng nodded. Yes, once a trump card is revealed, it's no longer a trump card. Even though the domain technique was heaven-defying, it wasn't invincible. As long as a few overlords prepared and worked together, it wouldn't be hard to break it. Even some overlords with heaven-defying methods could break it by themselves. Hence it's best you have a partner. The knight said, they complement each other. If you meet any danger, you can rely on your natural talent domain to escape. And if there's danger, you'll have to rely on your partner to get through it. Thank you, Knight Yui. Luo Feng smiled. I'll send the information to you now. The knight said. Immediately Luo Feng received a mail. Within the mail was a huge amount of detailed information. There were words, pictures, videos, etc. It was all related to the opening of the Primal Star over 100 years ago. Luo Feng sighed within. Luckily, he already had the armor. With the armor, it's like I'm wearing a castle. Luo Feng thought, along with the Masha clan's transformation and energy duplication methods, who would recognize me as Blade River Emperor Luo Feng. Before in the God Country, his earth body and the golden horned beast had both tried the armor and felt its power. It was exactly the same as when he first recognized the armor as its owner. This made Luo Feng exclaim. The armor was indeed an absolute treasure. No wonder even a being like Flame Emperor had to resort to such despicable methods. After all, the armor was indeed heaven-defying. Luo Feng estimated that it was even more heaven-defying than Qian Baohe. The armor was made by the Mountain Guest. It was a very special treasure armor, different from the other treasures Luo Feng knew of. Like the Killer Wu Wings, Golden Jinho armor, Ancient Ship Milky Way, these all required extremely high comprehension of the origin laws to be used. Like Luo Feng, he could only use the second form of the Killer Wu Wings and Golden Jinho armor. The Ancient Ship Milky Way hadn't even reached its limit yet. However, the armor was completely different. Soldier armor, general armor, emperor armor. It had nothing to do with origin law comprehension. It had to do with one's body strength. The armor was the same. It had to do with one's body strength. If one's body wasn't strong enough, it didn't matter how high one's origin law comprehension was. If one's body was strong enough, even if one's origin law comprehension was extremely low, it wouldn't matter. The armor was split into 3 forms. The first form required 100 million sector Lord strength to activate. After activating, it could block and weaken physical attacks to 1/1000 of its original strength. Soul attacks to 1/10 of its original strength. And it gave a user 1 billion sector Lord strength. The second form required 100 billion sector Lord strength to activate. After activating, it could weaken physical attacks to 1/10,000 of its original strength. Soul attacks to 1/10 of its original strength. And it gave a user a trillion sector Lord strength. The third form required 100 trillion sector Lord strength to activate. After activating, it could weaken physical attacks to 1/100,000th of its original strength. Soul attacks to 1/10 of its original strength. And it gave a user a trillion sector Lord strength. This was an extremely heaven-defying defense treasure. A universe lord, the moment he ignited his body to activate it, he could activate the third form. Relying on it, he could completely block other universe lords' absolute treasures and material attacks. In terms of material attacks, there was practically no threat, unless one met an even more heaven-defying attack treasure, like an absolute treasure. If such an absolute treasure were to appear on the primal star, it would be enough to cause many universe lords to fight out. Hence, it was normal for 1 or 2 universe lords to fall. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1057. Thunder Island. Within Luo Feng's palace. Within a quiet study, Luo Feng carefully flipped through the information regarding the primal star, nodding to himself. Powerful. This Ming Zhou Knight's information is indeed detailed. My plan will work. It's really dangerous. It's completely a place of the strong. Luo Feng couldn't help but exclaim softly, my other 3 bodies have already reached the primal star pathway. About 10 billion light-years away from the human domain, there were no planets in this part of the sky. Only a few storms of electromagnetic fluid could be seen. A 12 m tall silhouette stood in space. He had a pair of silver horns, purple eyes, his entire body covered in a layer of gray scales. Simultaneously, he had a scorpion tail, emitting a bloodthirsty and tyrannical energy. On his shoulder sat a 1 m long beast. This beast had 2 wings, 5 golden horns on its head for thick hooves, and a tail that waved about like a lizard. If one was knowledgeable, very quickly, one would be able to recognize that the human-like form, curved horns, gray scales, scorpion tail, was the space beast purple chrysalis. There were many different forms of beasts. Some were human-like. The purple chrysalis was one of them. The purple chrysalis were famous for their bloodthirsty nature. Of course, most of the space beasts were extremely bloodthirsty. Many warriors will be able to recognize the 1 m long beast on the purple chrysalis shoulder. It was one of the 12 pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts, the golden horned beast. Haha, I'm afraid even teacher wouldn't be able to recognize me if he met me. Luo Feng smiled. The Masha clansman, transforming into the purple chrysalis form. Its energy is copied into nothingness. There's no energy at all. Luo Feng caressed the golden horned beast on his shoulder. The Masha clansman is hidden in the world ring within its body, hiding the ocean clone. Its energy is completely released through the world ring. Luo Feng smiled. If other warriors saw the Masha clansman, they would only feel a bloodthirsty and ferocious energy. This energy was vast and powerful. It was definitely at the level of a powerful universe knight. The energy was related to the divine body. The stronger the divine body, the stronger the energy. Just like some universe overlords, the reason why they became universe overlords was because their comprehension of the laws was higher and they created stronger techniques. Just the surface aura alone was not much different from some universe supremacies. Hence, if an unfamiliar universe overlord didn't actively reveal his strength, it would be impossible to determine that he was a universe overlord. Luo Feng's ocean clone had a body with 100 million sector lord strength. Along with its huge body, the energy it emitted was extremely strong. It definitely belonged to the stronger level of a knight. Of course, the aura of the Golden Horn Beast was even stronger. The current 1m long Golden Horn Beast was in fact the form of deities of the world and beast god transformation, of which deities of the world was created during the 80,000 years when Luo Feng was creating his ultimate technique. He had bought large amounts of precious materials to train in. After all, the value of a sector lord level cultivator was relatively low. Secondly, Luo Feng's status was extremely high back then, and he had many treasures on him. Selling any one of them would be able to exchange for many precious materials. Naturally, he easily trained deities of the world to the pinnacle of perfection, a full 36x amplifier. Once he mastered deity of the world, his body would be able to reach a length of 100,000 kilometers and a length of 1 meter. It wouldn't affect his strength at all. Deities of the world's amplifier of 36x, Beast God Transformation's third-level amplifier of 8x. These two combined, there was a certain amount of overlap. However, it only allowed the Golden Horn Beast body to reach 45x. If it were to use its natural talent strengthening, it could easily reach 90x. My Masha Clansman's energy is equivalent to a higher level of a Universe Knight, and the Golden Horn Beast's energy is much stronger. Luo Feng thought. Luo Feng looked at the Golden Horn Beast on his shoulder. The Golden Horn Beast looked over too. The two exchanged glances. Anyone who sees us would probably think we're the two warriors of the Space Beast Alliance. Luo Feng smiled. The universe's 9 great powers were the 6 great races: Ancestral God Sect, Northern Border Alliance, and Space Beast Alliance. The ones that fought the most were the 6 great races and the Northern Border Alliance. And the Ancestral God Sect and the Space Beast Alliance were more special. Firstly, the Ancestral God Sect didn't fight for territory or the world. As for the Space Beast Alliance, they were even more rare. Normal space beasts were extremely rare. Even the location of the Space Beast Alliance's base was one of the universe's biggest secrets. Even though there were occasionally special places like the Primal Star, where some treasures were born, and occasionally the Space Beast Alliance's warriors would appear, they still didn't know where the base of the Space Beast Alliance was. A very special power. Similarly, they didn't fight for territory. Their race's space beasts were scattered all over the universe. My human identity is famous throughout the universe. The moment I appear on the Primal Star, I'll probably be treated as a moving treasure trove. I'll definitely be ambushed and killed, or even be surrounded by different races. Luo Feng looked at his gray-scaled armor. Right now, if I go out with this identity, I won't be conspicuous. I won't be ambushed and killed. The Primal Star was, after all, a gathering of the strong from the different races. They were usually wary of each other. Without a guarantee, without enough temptation, they wouldn't easily act. Blade River Emperor Luo Feng was an extreme temptation, and the 2 Space Beast warriors were definitely not to be trifled with. Luo Feng looked ahead. Within the electromagnetic energy storm, there was a huge whirlpool. The diameter of the whirlpool was about 10 billion kilometers. It emitted an endless, glaring rainbow light, causing the surrounding space to warp and distort. Just the pressure from this whirlpool alone was enough to crush a normal undying into nothing. Primal Star Passage, Luo Feng said softly. So, on his shoulder lay the cute little golden horn beast. With a step, he entered the beautiful passage. As he flew in, the pressure got stronger and stronger. Rumble, the pressure caused the space to warp and rumble. Luo Feng immediately vanished into the depths of the passage. A tall, evil silhouette flew out of the glaring whirlpool. That bloody aura made one's heart tremble. There was also an even more tyrannical and cold aura. These 2 auras were emitted from the tall silhouette and the cute little beast. This is the primal star. Luo Feng stood in midair and looked into the distance. Behind him was the whirlpool passage, and it was in midair, vast and boundless. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, feeling the endless pressure on his body. This terrifying pressure far exceeded Neutron Star, and also far exceeded the pressure he felt in Qing Foucault's ice prison back then. Luo Feng slowly descended, stepping on the forest filled with fallen leaves. There were a total of 10,081 primal stars. Every one of them were the same size, with a diameter of about 100 billion kilometers. The space ripples on the entire primal star had completely stopped, and that powerful pressure was enough to make normal undyings disappear. This pressure caused the space to tremble, making it impossible to teleport from God Country. Unable to teleport from God Country. With a diameter of 100 billion kilometers, to an absolute warrior, it didn't seem big. However, one had to know, under such terrifying pressure, even though Luo Feng and the others could accelerate to near light speed, it would still take a long time. Sudden changes in direction, speed, and movement would obviously be much slower than the outside world. This extreme pressure, it was almost like a huge domain treasure unleashed its domain. The pressure is huge. My Masha clansman has a 100 times life genetic level, reaching 10 million times Sector Lord strength. I didn't expect it to be so tough to even walk on the primal star. Luo Feng walked carefully, the golden-horned beast on his shoulder. In an instant, he walked out of the forest and reached the foot of the mountain. In the distance was the vast wilderness. Luo Feng walked forward, simultaneously feeling the energy. According to the information from Ming Zhou Knight, feeling the energy on the primal star was a method many warriors chose to search for treasures. After a while, rumble. An energy ripple traveled a long distance and reached Luo Feng. It's there. Luo Feng turned fiercely and looked into the distance. Rumble. Luo Feng immediately became a beam of light, and his speed soared. However, as he went faster, the resistance grew stronger. The Masha clansman's 10 million times his Sector Lord strength was obviously unable to take it. What a heavy pressure, burning my God energy. Luo Feng even began to burn his God energy. Under the powerful energy, his speed immediately soared and quickly reached sublight speed, flying into the distance. Below was the endless wilderness. Luo Feng continued to fly. Soon, he saw the figures of 5 experts fighting on the hills in the distance. So, Luo Feng swiftly landed. 5 universe knights. Luo Feng glanced over. One of them was obviously from the demon race. Their bodies were huge, and their auras filled the skies. The other was a mix of races, allowing Luo Feng to swiftly judge. One side is the demon race. The other seems to be from the 9 Territories Alliance. The universe's 9 great superpowers and 12 great powers. The 12 great powers, in terms of race numbers and number of knights, they might not be weaker than the Human Alliance or the Demon Alliance. It was just that they didn't have the strongest in the universe. There's still 6 strong squads watching. Luo Feng glanced over. Obviously, the battle here had attracted many other races. Other than his wave, there were 6 other waves. It was just that everyone watched from afar and didn't interfere. Prison Clan Alliance, Crystal Clan Alliance, Thorn Ring Alliance, and the Space Beast Alliance's warriors. It's just 3 treasures. We've already gotten 2. Let's go. We'll temporarily let the 3 from the 9 Territories Alliance go. A huge 3-headed beast communicated. Space Beast Alliance. Another huge tortoiseshell demon looked over at Luo Feng. Let's go. The demon race and the Space Beast Alliance had quite a bit of history. The demon race had always thought the space beasts were a part of the demon race. So, the 2 demon race universe venerables instantly turned into streams of light and quickly flew away. The 3-9 Territories Alliance universe venerables also looked around and quickly flew away. P.S. 2 chapters completed. Recommendation votes. Brothers and sisters, please help me out. The recommendation votes are currently number 2. I need everyone's support. Asterisk. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1058. The demon and 9 territories warriors that were fighting left, and the 7 waves of warriors that were attracted by the commotion naturally looked at each other from afar, after which they dispersed and left. It's the same as what Zhou Yuan Knight's information said. Luo Feng flew slowly above the wasteland. The golden-horned beast obediently sat on his shoulder. The warriors of the Primal Star are all very cautious. Without enough treasure to attract them, or with 100% confidence, they won't easily make a move. Earlier, when the demon and 9 territories were fighting, there wasn't any treasure energy at all. I reckon there were only a few treasures. Treasures, if their energy was concealed, just from the looks of it, it was hard to tell if they were treasures or not. However, the Primal Star was different. The Primal Star was a treasure planet with many treasures. The appearance of treasures didn't cause much of a commotion. Some of the top treasures might cause a little commotion, but the appearance of treasures would definitely cause a commotion. The bigger the commotion, the higher the level of the treasure. There were even palaces that would specially appear from underground, and within those palaces were treasures, etc. in one sentence. The bigger the commotion, the higher the level of treasure. Luo Feng glanced at the distant space whirlpool. Another whirlpool passage. I wonder which primal star this passage leads to. According to the information, 10081 primal stars. Every primal star had a total of 10,081 whirlpool tunnels in midair. One of them was the exit. Luo Feng came through the whirlpool tunnel exit. The other 10,080 passages led to the other 10,080 primal stars. The warriors searching for treasures in the primal star wouldn't foolishly run around. They would all guard one place and wait. Sensing the energy, the moment there's any special commotion, they would immediately rush over. Luo Feng decided to follow the ancient experiences of the primal stars. So, immediately rushing down, Luo Feng flew into a short ancient forest. This mountain was about 1,000 kilometers tall, taller than any mountain on Earth. However, it was considered a short mountain on the primal star. There were many ancient trees and flowers growing on it. It was beautiful. Stepping on the fallen leaves, Luo Feng walked slowly. The pressure on the primal star is huge. Weaker undyings would perish, but these trees, flowers, and mountains are perfectly fine. Luo Feng looked at the short and sturdy tree that was at least 30 m thick. Without a doubt, these branches, flowers, etc. can all be used to create normal undying weapons. They're definitely valuable materials. Luo Feng understood this, but he wouldn't take it, because there were pioneers in history who had done this before. Luo Feng kicked the trunk of the tree with a strong god force. He felt as though the entire tree was one with the land. With this kick, his entire body was knocked flying, crashing into the distant flowers and grass, crushing many of them before standing up. It's true, the plants here are one with the primordial star. Also, according to the information, flowers and trees are very difficult to damage. Even if a super expert damages the flowers and trees, they will regrow and grow back to their original state. Luo Feng first used his god energy to isolate the surroundings, following which his god energy ignited in his right leg, his power exploding. With a rumble, he fiercely stomped on the ground, causing large amounts of soil to fly everywhere, immediately creating a hole. Luo Feng stood at the side and watched quietly. After a while, the soil that was scattered in the surroundings disappeared into thin air, and the pit from before was filled up, returning to its original state. It's indeed like that, Luo Feng exclaimed within. What a mysterious primordial star. On the primordial star, anything that seemed to be one with the primordial star, like the soil, flowers, trees, etc., even though they could be taken away by force, they would quickly return to their original positions on the primordial star. Everything was destined to be useless. Only items that weren't one with the primordial star, like some treasures that had been born, etc., could be taken away. Feeling the wonders of the primordial star, Luo Feng strolled in the forest, observing everything within. Chi. Luo Feng kicked a hard object. With his god energy, normal rocks would be kicked away, and the soil would be flattened. Luo Feng looked down. A silver-white horn emerged from the ground. On it there was still a lot of soil. Luo Feng carefully felt it. That silver-white horn was not normal. Luo Feng blinked. My luck can't be that good. Luo Feng muttered within. There were many treasures on the primordial star. Some of them didn't cause any commotion when they were born, hence they could appear in rivers, in the soil, etc. To be able to step on treasures while walking, this had happened many times in history. Stepping on treasures while walking? Luo Feng squatted down, his right hand landing on the horn, his sharp nails grabbing it tightly. His god energy was like threads wrapping around the horn. Hua! He used force. Like plucking a carrot, the soil fell off and a half-a-meter-tall silver cube was plucked out by Luo Feng. With a sweep of his god energy, the soil fell off and an exquisite silver cube with ancient origin law engravings was revealed. The energy was faint. Obviously, it was a treasure. Ha 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 ha! No wonder back then when the Nine-Blade Knight borrowed treasures from me, he was willing to give me 10 treasures as a reward. Luo Feng was all smiles. On the primordial star, there's so many treasures, I can even step on one while walking. Stepping on treasures while walking, that was considered lucky. However, there were indeed many treasures on the primordial star. As long as one stayed on the primordial star long enough, getting 10 to 100 treasures wasn't hard. One could totally exchange for a full set of treasures. And these treasures could be disassembled too. The materials that could be disassembled were hard to find normally. After disassembling large amounts of treasures, using countless precious materials, gathering them together, there was definitely hope of creating a normal treasure. Being able to refine ordinary supreme treasures was already very difficult. After all, to refine supreme treasures such as Tribulation Armor, Origin Soul, and Flame God Halberd, perhaps only Mountain Guest, who refined treasures alone in the universe, could do it. Luo Feng's life imprint was imprinted on the cube. Immediately the treasure became his. Information was transmitted over. The silver cube swiftly shrunk, becoming the size of a peach, almost like a Rubik's Cube. It's actually a sealing treasure. With a sealed space within, it's not any weaker than a sealing star. Luo Feng nodded satisfactorily. To get a treasure on the first day of coming to Primordial Star, if I could get one every day, staying here for hundreds or thousands of years, how many treasures would I get? Luo Feng knew it was impossible. However, the feeling of stepping on treasures while walking was very satisfying. Luo Feng walked for half a day in the forest. Unfortunately, he didn't manage to step on another treasure. After which he randomly found a place and sat cross-legged on a fallen leaf, waiting silently. Time passed. The primordial star's opening lasted for a total of 1,000 eras. It was destined that the chances of treasures appearing were very small, only appearing once in a long while. Sets of treasures and normal treasures became the most commonly fought over. The common ones here required a bit of luck, like Luo Feng. He had been on Primordial Star for 2 years, yet he hadn't even seen a single set of treasures. Even though he had felt the energy of the treasures 3 times, even though the energy was weak, how strong were the warrior's senses? Luo Feng was further away. Those 3 times when the treasures appeared, by the time he rushed over, the fight for the treasures had long ended. Luck! I didn't even get a single set of treasures. It's been 2 years, and I've only gotten 2 treasures. How pitiful! Luo Feng stood at the peak of the ancient forest, gazing into the distance. 2 years to get 2 treasures. This efficiency was considered average. After all, on Primordial Star, one was risking one's life. Just like how Luo Feng was currently disguised as a warrior of the Space Beast Alliance, as the Space Beast Alliance was very mysterious. Hence, the other races normally wouldn't come and mess with the Space Beast Alliance warriors. In these 2 years, Luo Feng and the golden horned beast on his shoulder had long since become famous. At least many of the warriors recognized and remembered them. The Human Race Alliance, Demon Alliance, Automaton Alliance, and Bug Clan Alliance. Their battles are really vicious. Luo Feng muttered. With just a little reason, the battle could erupt. These four great races were adjacent to each other. With the accumulation of hatred, the battles on Primordial Star were also vicious. Luo Feng's life was too short. Even though he had experienced the Bug Clan spy blowing up a planet and the other races sending Swamp Corrosion Knight to assassinate him, from an emotional point of view, even though he hated them, his hatred towards the Bug Clan, Demon Clan, and Automaton Clan wasn't that intense to the point of insanity. The truly long-lived human warriors, however, were different. They had lived for too long and had too many grudges with these three great races fighting over and over again, accumulating hatred over and over again. The hatred was huge. I've been here for 2 years, yet I've never fought a single battle. Luo Feng exclaimed within. Just as Luo Feng was exclaiming, a special energy emanated. The experienced Luo Feng was stunned, immediately reacting. It's a set treasure, or even a normal treasure, and this energy seems to be very close. Luo Feng was excited. The previous 3 times, he hadn't even touched the treasure. This time, he was finally close. So, Luo Feng's Masha clansman immediately ignited his god energy, his speed exploding. Rumble. He immediately flew towards the source of the energy. The energy is quite strong. It's a set treasure. It could even be a treasure. A giant man of the prison clan, who was more than 10 kilometers tall and had golden flames all over his body, and 2 universe venerables, who were more than 100 meters tall and had 12 pairs of black wings and were covered in black scales, flew over together. The energy of a treasure being born. It's a treasure. The 6 teams in the surrounding area quickly rushed over. As the aura spread out, some of the other race universe venerate teams that were far away also quickly flew over in 2s and 3s. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1059. Luo Feng swiftly headed towards the energy. The energy is quite strong. Luo Feng was shocked and happy that the energy was so strong. It was at least a top-grade treasure. The chances of even a normal treasure appearing was extremely high. Shocked, this energy, even if he could get the treasure immediately, it would still cause a battle. Looks like my first battle since coming to Primal Star is about to begin. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Xiao. A silhouette suddenly appeared beside the Masha clansman. It was the Yu-Hai clone. The Yu-Hai clone shrunk from over 9,000 kilometers tall to 9M tall, simultaneously transforming into the purple chrysalis beast form. Similar to a human, curved horns, gray scales, scorpion tail. And the Masha clansman immediately entered the world ring. Battle formation. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed with fighting spirit. In Luo Feng's plan, ever since he acquired the Calamity armor, along with the Golden Horned Beast's huge body, it could be said that killing the Golden Horned Beast had become extremely difficult. One had to know that even the Yu-Hai clone's self-destruction couldn't kill Pei Feng Knight. In terms of body strength and amplitude, the Golden Horned Beast was no different from Pei Feng Knight. In terms of size, the Golden Horned Beast was countless times bigger than Pei Feng Knight, and the Calamity armor could similarly weaken material attacks by 1/10,000. With the Calamity armor, the Golden Horned Beast can't be killed or smashed, Luo Feng thought, and the Golden Horned Beast body is so strong. Its size is huge too. The Yu-Hai clone's god energy storage is comparable to it. There's no need to use it as a god energy storage. Xiao. Yu-Hai swiftly flew through the air, the Golden Horned Beast on his shoulder. Flying past the forest, flying above the wasteland, he quickly arrived above a swamp. It's there. Luo Feng swiftly felt the energy source and immediately rushed over. It was a swamp. In the dirty, pitch-black swamp water, a black sword hilt about the size of a mountain was slowly floating up. At the same time, it was releasing its aura in all directions. Just one. Luo Feng rushed down, seeing the black hilt the size of a mountain slowly floating. He couldn't help but be overjoyed. It's a treasure. If there were a few, it would be a treasure set. However, from the looks of it, just one was definitely a treasure. And I'm the first. Luo Feng swiftly rushed towards the black hilt. At this time, in the air in another direction, a towering man whose entire body was made of countless rocks and was over 10 kilometers long, covered in golden flames, and two other prison race powerhouses with 12 pairs of wings flew over at the same time. They could clearly see that the black sword hilt that had emerged from the swamp was gradually becoming visible. Just one, and it's a supreme treasure. The three experts of the prison clan were also excited. Star Behemoth, put down the treasure. Otherwise, we won't rest until one of us is dead. The giant man covered in golden flames roared through voice transmission. That voice resounded. Luo Feng couldn't even be bothered to look. His palm landed on the huge black hilt, and his god energy began to permeate it. The moment his god energy permeated it, Luo Feng felt that the entire black hilt was one with the swamp. Not good. It's not completely born yet. Luo Feng was shocked. This was a situation where some of the more precious treasures, like supreme treasures, etc., were born. For example, when a shrine slowly appeared, there was no way to rush into the shrine during the process. One had to wait until the shrine completely appeared before one could think of a way to open the shrine and obtain the supreme treasure within. One theory: this slowly floating black hilt was in the process of being born, so it had to wait until it completely appeared before it could recognize its owner. Haha! The three prison race warriors were overjoyed when they saw this. They had guessed it too. The towering golden flaming giant let out a maniacal laugh. Scram! The serene ocean clone and the golden horned beast, who were standing on the swamp, looked at the three prison race warriors and roared, "Prison race, this is mine. If you want to steal the treasure, I won't rest until one of us is dead." Rumble. The giant man covered in golden flames fell from the sky, his feet landing in the swamp. However, the swamp was only about 1 kilometer deep, so it only covered his feet, not even reaching his knees. The other two prison race warriors floated in midair, their 12 pairs of wings emitting evil energy spread out as they stared at Luo Feng. Won't rest until one of us is dead? Are you two space beasts looking to die? The golden flaming rock giant looked down at Luo Feng and the other two little guys. Following Luo Feng's cold snort. Rumble. Rumble. The serene ocean clone and the golden horned beast simultaneously began to grow. The serene ocean clone, that was only 9 m tall, immediately became 9,000 kilometers tall, and the golden horned beast also immediately became 10,000 kilometers long. According to the deities of the world technique, the length of the god body didn't affect one's power within a certain range. And the serene ocean clone reached 9,000 kilometers, he could unleash his normal peak power. The 9,000 kilometers tall serene ocean clone stood there. The 10,000 kilometers long golden horned beast floated in midair, its wings extended. The two of them stared down at the three little guys below. The three little guys, the 10 kilometers tall golden flaming rock giant, and the 0.1 kilometer tall two-winged warriors were indeed little guys. Humph! The golden flaming rock giant raised his head and looked at the two huge beings, coldly snorting. Not good. The expressions of the two prison race black-winged warriors changed. The size of the god body reflected one's power. Imperial Order. One of the black-winged warriors communicated, "Even though the space beasts are famous for their large size, that golden horn beast is still all right. A mature golden horn beast is usually 1,000 kilometers long. The Space Beast Alliance has some methods to raise their bloodline. We've even seen golden horn beasts that reach a length of 10,000 kilometers. However, that purple chrysalis, their peak size is only close to 100 kilometers. How can it be so big? Don't bother with them. Their huge bodies are just hard to kill." On the primal planet, the universe tyrants usually move alone. Those that team up are usually the universe upper echelons. They have 2 universe upper echelons. We have 3. I'll deal with the golden horned beast. The 2 of you deal with the purple chrysalis. the other go get the treasure. All right, don't fight for too long. Against such a huge body, we'll be at a disadvantage. The serene ocean clone and the golden horned beast, one was 9,000 kilometers long, while the other was 10,000 kilometers long. They covered the sky and the earth. Even the three prison race universe sovereigns couldn't see the black sword body. Luo Feng was constantly paying attention to the black blade. The black blade was slowly appearing, especially the blade which had already grown a lot. It looked like it was about to appear. I have to get through this last bit of time, then this treasure will be mine, Luo Feng thought. Simultaneously, he gazed at the three little ones that were like ants before him. He too was cautious. Those that entered the primal star alone were usually universe overlords. Those that joined forces were usually universe upper echelons. Three universe upper echelons. They were extremely strong. However, Luo Feng still had enough confidence. Universe upper echelon. This is comparable to Xiehua. Luo Feng suddenly exclaimed. Back then I was like an ant in front of Xiehua. But now, even if it's three universe upper echelons in front of my full power, I can deal with them. Unknowingly, he was already standing among the universe's strongest. Kill. The three prison race warriors moved at the same time. Golden light mirror. Origin law domain. Fuse. Golden light domain. The golden horned beast bared its fangs, at the same time igniting its god energy to activate the golden light mirror. Using the golden horned beast's god body strength and the god body vibration technique, it ignited its god energy to activate the golden light mirror. Immediately, a full 100 million kilometers was enveloped in the endless golden light. Domain-type treasure. What a strong resistance. Even if it's not a domain-type treasure, it's still a top-tier one. That space beast has a domain-type treasure. The three prison race warriors were shocked. This treasure was no less than a normal treasure, even though there were three of them and two of them. However, with the domain-type treasure obstructing them, it made their advantage not that great. Space beast, you're looking to die. The golden flaming stone giant roared, becoming a beam of light. A huge flaming hammer appeared in its hands, smashing towards the golden horned beast. Oh, accept your death, prison clan scum. The golden horned beast roared loudly, flapping its wings. The glistening golden Wu Slayer's wings were tens of thousands of km wide, like two huge blades. Along with the golden horned beast dive, the two huge blades whistled as they sliced towards the golden flaming stone giant. Starfire piercing the sky. The wings were like blades, slicing towards the prison race's golden flaming stone giant. Even though Luo Feng's blade technique Bright Moon Tactics hadn't reached the ultimate level, Luo Feng had already begun to modify it. After all, it was using the same technique in different ways. Even though it took up a lot of time, this Bright Moon Tactics third form had already reached the point where it could defeat the Primal Chaos City Leader's 1,600 opponents. It was considered one of the top pinnacle techniques. Compared to the 1,000 opponents threshold, it was at least 6 to 7 times stronger. The blade technique was an absolute pinnacle technique. The weapon was a treasure, the god body strength. The vibration technique was at the overlord level of the universe. Even though the beast god's conception was weaker, but they complemented each other, completely not fearing the universe's advanced warriors. Starfire piercing the sky, Jade burns the sky and shatters the earth. The serene ocean clone stood beside the black blade. He was wearing the golden, vibrating dragon armor, burning his godly energy and spirit energy vibration technique to unleash this move, only to see thousands of black shadows flying out from the serene ocean clone's chest, breaking through the skies, following which a majestic, huge beast god appeared in midair. The beast god roared, rumbling as it charged towards the two black-winged warriors of the prison race. 10,000 star, Tao, presentation, third form. Starfire piercing the sky. Jade burns the sky and shatters the earth. This move, Luo Feng had never unleashed it outside. This was the first time he unleashed it, and he relied on the serene ocean clone to unleash it. The serene ocean clone and the golden horned beast exploded together. along with the golden light domain, to suppress the opponent's movement speed. They immediately headed towards the 3 advanced level warriors of the prison race universe. P.S. 2 chapters completed. On the last day of the month, there are only 2 hours left till the end of November. If you have a monthly pass, don't waste it. Use these 2 hours to vote for Tomato *** to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1060. Rumble. The golden flame rock giant used all his strength to wave his godly hammer. The godly hammer immediately smashed towards the golden horned beast, and the golden polar domain's resistance couldn't stop the godly hammer at all. With his hammer, planets, stars, neutron stars, etc. would instantly be destroyed if they touched it. Even a black hole would be destroyed by this hammer. The golden flame rock giant roared and unleashed his most powerful hammer strike. Even though it didn't cause the space to shatter in the primal star environment, it wasn't that this hammer wasn't strong, it was just that the primal star environment was special. Pum! That hammer clashed with a huge golden, shining feather blade. The golden flame stone giant, who was holding the divine hammer with both hands, was sent flying backward. While flying backward, his huge stone feet stomped on the air several times, forcing him to stop in midair. Damn space beast! The golden flame rock giant roared. Prison clan bastard! The golden horned beast became a beam of light, already turning back and descending once more, that huge feather blade slicing down. It was as though it could slice through everything in its path. Clash after clash. The golden flame rock giant's own agility couldn't compare to the golden horned beast with the Wu Slayer wings. Furthermore, in the golden polar domain, it was facing heavy resistance. It was completely suppressed. The golden horned beast was simply too huge, causing its Wu Slayer wings to be tens of thousands of kilometers wide. With one wing, the golden flame rock giant couldn't even dodge. The serene ocean clone was like a stabilizing force, standing in front of the black blade, looking at the 2 black-winged prison clan warriors in the distance. At the same time, he controlled the huge beast god to chase after the 2 warriors. Rumble, the beast god roared in midair, as fast as a shadow. Once the 2 black-winged warriors ran too far away, the beast god didn't chase. The beast god was only within a certain range of the black blade. The moment the 2 prison clan warriors entered that range, they would immediately be attacked. One had to know that the beast god was a spirit weapon. How fast was its flying speed? On top of that, he also had the golden line Aurora domain. As long as he was within this range, he would be able to send the 2 prison clan black-wing powerhouses flying in a short amount of time. Boom! A black-wing powerhouse was sent flying. Meanwhile, the other black-wing powerhouse who had charged into the perimeter from the opposite direction rushed towards the black sword that was slowly floating up. Roar! The beast god roared and flew in the opposite direction. It was so fast that it left behind an afterimage. Immediately after, it crashed into the black-wing powerhouse and sent the black-wing universe venerable flying. Imperial Edict, what should we do? We can't charge in. That spirit weapon is too fast. Also, they have domain-type treasures. Our divine bodies have been consumed by 3%. That despicable purple cocoon behemoth hasn't even consumed 1/10,000th of its divine body. We can't let this go on. The 2 12-winged powerhouses hovered in the distance and transmitted their voices to the golden flame stone giant at the same time. The golden flame stone giant could only roar angrily. There was nothing he could do. Due to the size of his divine body, he didn't consume much of it. But he was clear the golden horned beast in front of him had used up even less god body. Even if his entire god body were to burn, the golden horned beast in front of him wouldn't even burn 1% of its god body. Ha ha! The other foreign races are coming. The golden flame stone giant suddenly communicated. Let's fight for a while longer. When the other foreign races arrive, these 2 space beasts will definitely panic. Then we'll have a chance. The 2 12-winged warriors surveyed their surroundings and revealed expressions of glee. Indeed, from the other 2 directions, there was a team flying over. HM? That's the North Border Alliance team, a total of 3 Universe Knights. That's my Great Alliance team, 2 Universe Knights. Yuhai Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings and swiftly made his decision. However, with my current identity, that Great Alliance team will only treat me as a Space Beast Alliance member, without caring about anything else. While suppressing the 3 Prison Clan Universe Knights, Luo Feng observed the black blade that was slowly floating up. Slowly, the black blade's entire blade tip was about to fly out. Soon, it's about to completely emerge. Luo Feng was anxious and expectant. Quickly, we have to completely emerge before the other teams arrive. 2 teams swiftly flew over. One was the Great Alliance team, and the other was the North Border Alliance team. Even though the Great Alliance team was a member of the Great Alliance, they weren't humans. Seeing this scene from afar, they swiftly made their decision. Haha, it's a treasure. It's definitely a treasure. The treasure is still emerging. They haven't recognized its owner yet. Quickly, while the Space Beast team and the Prison Clan team are in a stalemate, let's quickly snatch the treasure. The North Border Alliance team's 3 Universe Knights were equally overjoyed. Knowing that this was a rare opportunity, they all flew with all their might. One had to know that the North Border Alliance was the alliance with the most races in the universe. Formed from a large number of races, the North Border Alliance had many Universe Knights too. For example, in the Ancestral God Sect's Glory Worlds Plaza, there were usually only about 1,000 Great Alliance heirs there. However, the North Border Alliance had hundreds of thousands of them. One could see the difference in numbers. Hence, on the primitive planet, the North Border Alliance's Universe Knight team was the most common. And because there were more Universe Knights, when it came to resource distribution compared to the human race and the other top 6 races, warriors of the same level usually had fewer treasures. One of the 3 Northern Border Alliance universe supremacies was over 10 meters tall. His entire body seemed to be made of purple metal. As he flew towards the black sword body, he carefully observed it. His eyes revealed a look of doubt. That seems to be impossible. That's not possible. Quickly, Luo Feng was extremely anxious. Even though the black blade was almost at the tip of the blade, it was obvious that its floating speed was much slower than an absolute warrior's flying speed. Great Alliance and North Border Alliance's 2 Universe Knight teams, even in the Golden Polar region, still maintained their speed as they approached. Haha, too late. The Prison Clan's Golden Flame Rock Giant laughed loudly. Space Beast, you won't be able to get this treasure. Even so, it's not your turn. The Golden Horned Beast let out an angry roar that shook the skies. Rumble. The Golden Horned Beast suddenly flapped its wings and immediately turned back, returning to the black blade. Yuhai Luo Feng too took a step back, stepping beside the black blade. Come! Yuhai Luo Feng and the Golden Horned Beast surrounded the black blade, obviously intending to defend to the death. As long as they could hold on for a little longer, the treasure would be theirs. Don't even talk about you Universe Knights. Yuhai Luo Feng thought. Even if it's a tyrant, the Golden Horned Beast with the Calamity armor doesn't fear it at all. Even though my Yuhai Luo's body is weaker, and that Golden Vibration Ho Emperor armor can only activate its second form, weakening the physical attacks to 1,000th of its power. It's weaker than the Calamity armor. However, Yuhai Luo's body is huge. It'll definitely be fine if it withstands it for a while. Yuhai Luo and the Golden Horned Beast were like 2 mountain ranges. One stood beside the black blade. The other floated above it, blocking any alien races that dared to approach. Kill! Get the treasure. Quick, the other 5 teams are about to arrive. Let's hurry. The Great Alliance and North Border Alliance's 2 teams also realized that the other 5 teams had appeared in the distance. However, they estimated that the other 5 teams would need some time to arrive. 3 teams: Great Alliance, North Border Alliance, Prison Clan, a total of 8 high-level knights, simultaneously charging towards the Space Beast in the center. Rumble. The 3 teams simultaneously became beams of light and rushed forward. The Golden Horned Beast spread its wings, blocking right at the front. Whoosh, whoosh. The wings suddenly expanded, and the golden wings, Wu-slaying wings, were priceless treasures that could easily change color, spread out in all directions. In an instant, they had become enormous wings that were hundreds of thousands of kilometers wide. When the enormous wings closed around the sword, it was like a mother hen protecting her chicks. The enormous golden wings completely covered the area below. If he wanted to snatch the black sword, he would have to blast the golden wings apart. Attack! Haha, he actually wants to take it head-on. Kill! The 8 universe supremacies attacked at the same time, especially the outsider race supremacy from the Hong Alliance, who wielded a blade wheel. The blade wheel in his hand was an ordinary treasure, and it struck the golden wings time and time again. The golden horned beast's 4 thick hooves were like pillars that supported the heavens, standing in the swamp. The depth of the swamp couldn't even cover the claws of the golden horned beast. The wings were raised high, completely protecting everything. Rumble, 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 rumble. The 8 high-level knights teamed up. Their power was so strong. It was like an overlord wielding a treasure, attacking again and again. That's all you have. The golden horned beast stood there as stable as a mountain, allowing the attacks to descend. After being weakened by the Wu killer's wings and the calamity armor, with the golden horned beast's huge body, it could easily block them. This wing is a treasure. It must be a treasure. There are very few treasures that can become this big. Even if it could, under the combined attack of 8 high-level knights, it would still have to shrink, otherwise it would collapse. This wing is definitely a treasure. North Border Alliance, Great Alliance, Prison Clan, these 3 teams, a total of 8 high-level knights, immediately deduced this point. Normal treasures, even some overlords could destroy them. Even top-tier treasures, if they shrunk it would be fine, but if they purposely made it bigger, it would weaken the defenses and it would collapse. When the combined attacks of the 8 high-level knights couldn't do anything to the golden horned beast, the golden horned beast and the serene ocean clone's gaze landed on the black blade, only to see that the tip of the blade had finally floated out of the swamp, following which it floated in the air. Its aura completely retracted, becoming like a normal treasure. The treasure is in my hands. The golden horned beast roared. Immediately a thread of God energy flew towards the black blade, wanting to imprint its life imprint within. A new month. Last month's votes were number 1. Tomato was thankful to all his brothers and sisters for their support. At the end of the month, Tomato indeed wasn't good enough. There were some real-life reasons. A new month has arrived. Tomato still has to go to Shanghai around December 9th. However, this month Tomato will work hard to save up his drafts, to make himself more stable, to write even more exciting plots. Tomato will work hard. Brothers and sisters, on the first day of a new month, please vote for Tomato. Thank you. To be continued. If you like this work, please come Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1061. Luo Feng's God energy swiftly drilled into the black blade. His life imprint was imprinted and the master recognition was successful. The lowered head, golden horned beast's eyes were filled with curiosity. What's going on? There's actually no information from his treasure. Yuhai Luo Feng too was curious as he looked at the black blade. Like many treasures and treasures, when they recognize an owner, there would usually be information transmitted into the consciousness. Usually it would be a detailed description of the weapon, even a technique to use the treasure, etc. Of course, there were some treasures that didn't have any information, like the star map, Wu killer wings, pagoda pearl, etc., etc. Whether or not there was any information depended on whether or not the warrior who created the treasure left any information behind. The pagoda pearl was a part of the star pagoda. It wouldn't contain any information. The star diagram was an ordinary supreme treasure that Mountain Guest had created by combining the star diagram and many ceiling stars. Hence, some treasures and treasures might not have any information within. However, according to Luo Feng's information on the primal star gathered by Yu Zhou Knight, any treasures or treasures that appeared on the primal star, these were all treasures born from the universe. These treasures naturally had information. Weird. Luo Feng was curious. Bang, 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 bang. The three teams of 8 high-level knights were madly attacking, time and time again hitting the golden horned beast's wings, breaking Luo Feng's train of thought. So, the golden horned beast's thoughts moved, causing the huge black blade to swiftly shrink, simultaneously entering its body and fusing into one of its scales. Ho! An angry roar that shook the heaven and earth resounded. At the same time, the huge golden wings that seemed to cover the sky swiftly shrunk, from a few 100,000 kilometers wide to a few tens of thousands of kilometers wide, naturally revealing the golden horned beast and the serene ocean clone, the two majestic figures. Upon seeing this, the 8 universe super beings who had been surrounding and attacking him were disappointed. That treasure has been taken. It's already recognized its owner. Damn space beast, let's go. The 8 super beings of the universe glared at the serene ocean clone and the golden horned beast. First, the 3 super beings of the prison clan flew away. The 5 universe supremacies from the Hong Alliance and the Northern Border Alliance were also disappointed. They didn't have any thoughts of obtaining the treasures. They knew very well that before the treasure recognized its master, they could still fight for it. But now that it had recognized its owner, the only way to get the treasure was to kill the golden horned beast. One had to know that the golden horned beast was fine after taking on the attacks of the 8 knights. One could see how strong its defense was, and if it really wanted to escape, they wouldn't be able to stop it. The thing that made them unable to have any intentions of stealing the treasure was the size of the golden horned beast's body. Such a big god body. He's just trying to exhaust us slowly. Before we can kill him, our god bodies have already been burned out. We came late this time. It would have been better if we had come earlier. That precious treasure has fallen into the star behemoth's hands. Hong Alliance and Beijing Alliance were not satisfied. Haha, the 5 of you, you're too slow. The golden horned beast let out a low voice. Count yourself lucky. Let's go. The North Border Alliance's 3 Universe Venerables and the Great Alliance's 2 Universe Venerables swiftly left. The golden horned beast and the serene ocean clone looked into the distance at this time. There were teams nearing, all attracted by the aura of the treasure and the commotion of the battle. Let's go quickly. The serene ocean clone swiftly shrunk to 9 m tall. The golden horned beast also shrunk to 100 m long. Spreading its golden wings, the serene ocean clone sat cross-legged on the back of the golden horned beast. So, swiftly breaking through space, the treasure has already fallen into the hands of the star behemoth. Let's go. This treasure hunt has already ended. We'll wait for the next time. I wonder if the treasure that appeared this time is a top-tier treasure set or a normal one. The other foreign race knights chatted with their companions, all suspicious, but they could only leave. On Primal Star, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. It relied on both strength and luck. If the treasure appeared closer, naturally, they would have a huge advantage. The 3 universe supremacies of the Northern Border Alliance were flying away, returning to their temporary resting place, the peak of a low mountain range. Those 2 space beasts are really lucky. However, the Astral Beast Alliance is indeed mysterious and powerful. They have a domain-type treasure, a winged treasure, and this time, a black sword treasure. The 3 universe supremacies were conversing. The 10 m tall universe supremacy, whose body seemed to be made of metal, was frowning in thought. It's that style? Yes, that's it. That's it. The purple metal knight's eyes lit up. First, he used his divine energy to isolate the surroundings. Following which, he looked at the beast knight lying on the ground with hundreds of soft strips around its mouth. He said, 100 Raccoon Knight, you have a clone in the core of our Beijing Alliance. Hurry and send a message to the Alliance. We just found one of the godly swords of Sword River Luo. Jianheluo? The 2 universe supremacies beside him were stunned. Then, their eyes widened abruptly. Especially the row of eyes of the 100 Raccoon Knight were even brighter. The legendary top treasure Sword River Luo. Sword River Luo. It could be said to be the most dazzling treasure since the opening of the primitive star over 100 years. Back then, a huge tomb had appeared from underground. That was the Tomb of Swords. Sword Tomb. There was an ancient stone tablet in the Sword Tomb. The stone tablet recorded there were large amounts of precious, godly swords, and even several normal treasures, as well as the most precious Sword River Luo parts. Sword River Luo was made up of the compass and 9 godly swords. The 9 godly swords fused into the compass. Once it was activated, it could transform into an endless sword river. Its power was overwhelming. Once the 9 swords fused into one, the power stacking was even more unbelievable. It was a top domain treasure, and its attack could rival a peak treasure. Just this compass alone was already an ordinary domain-type supreme treasure. Once a godly sword was fused into it, its power would increase. As more godly swords were fused, the power would increase. Once all 9 swords were fused, it would reach a perfect state. Such a supreme treasure. The compass that appeared in the Sword Tomb only had 1 black godly sword. The other 8 godly swords weren't there. Sword River Luo's godly sword. Where is it? Where did we find it? The 100 Raccoon Knight asked. Where are we? The other knight had just opened his mouth when the Purple Metal Knight couldn't help but say, It's the black sword that the 2 from the Space Beast Alliance took away. I've seen the picture of the Sword River Luo before. The black sword stuck in the compass is exactly the same as the one from before. The 100 Raccoon Knight was shocked. Quick, report this to the Alliance. The Purple Metal Knight shouted. All right. The 100 Raccoon Knight nodded. Many of the super warriors that entered the primitive star had left their clones in their clans, and very few had clones in their clans. The clones could send simple messages. However, there were some important things that the clones might not be able to do. My clone has already entered the core area of the Alliance. A Universe Lord is about to meet me. The 100 Raccoon Knight said softly. After a while, report complete. I've simulated the appearance of the black, godly sword with my consciousness. The Universe Lord has already confirmed that it's indeed one of the parts of the Sword River Luo. The number of treasures is extremely small, and it's almost impossible to find one that looks exactly the same. And they both appeared on the primitive star one after the other. It's definitely one of the godly swords from the Sword River Luo. The Universe Lord has ordered us not to move for now. Right now, he's arranging for the Universe Overlords and the overturned Demon Lord to rush over. Our contributions have already been recorded. The 100 Raccoon Knight looked at the other 2. They both revealed excited smiles. At this time, the North Border Alliance immediately began to arrange for their warriors to rush to the primitive star Luo Phone was at. Virtual Universe, Great Alliance Inner City, an outdoor bar. Large amounts of knights were gathered here. The warriors that entered the primitive star this time all left their clones behind. These clones were connected to the virtual universe and used this to send messages. Another treasure has appeared. Look, it's this one. I've seen it with my own eyes. What treasure? Quickly come take a look. Which primitive star is it on? All sorts of voices resounded. Everyone was very interested in the movements on the primitive star. Look, this is the picture. A bald and hairy foreign race warrior with a pair of golden eyes displayed the picture. This treasure slowly appeared from the swamp. It's a pity that I was too far away and was too slow. This treasure was taken away by 2 warriors from the Space Beast Alliance. Treasure. What a pity. Such a treasure was right before your eyes, and you couldn't even get it. It was actually taken away by the Space Beast Alliance. I had no choice either. The 2 warriors from the Space Beast Alliance have bodies that are over 10,000 kilometers long. With such powerful bodies, once the treasure is in their hands, would there still be any hope of getting it back? Even if a universe overlord were to go all out to completely exhaust such a huge body would still require a lot of effort. The Bald Knight said, Isn't that the Sword River Luo's godly sword? Right, the Sword River Luo's godly sword. Immediately, there was an uproar. At this time, a silhouette walked in the outdoor bar. It was Luo Phone. That's weird. The treasure on the primitive star has recognized its owner. There's actually no news at all. Luo Phone was curious. Because he was curious, He connected to the virtual universe, coming to the information exchange area of the Great Alliance warriors. He wanted to find some familiar friends to ask about it. Many of his friends, even the Yunzhou Knight, were here. Yunzhou Knight. Luo Feng glanced at the distant Yunzhou Knight who was listening to the news from others and shouted. Yunzhou Knight turned to look and his eyes gleamed. Blade River. Luo Feng smiled and walked over. Suddenly he frowned. A silhouette attracted his attention. It's him? Luo Feng recognized the bald knight. It was one of the two from the Great Alliance that attacked him on the primitive star. P.S. 2 chapters completed. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1062. While Luo Feng was in the virtual universe, on the primal planet he was on, below the whirlpool tunnel that led to the outside world, there was a forest that had existed for trillions of years. There were 3 terrifying warriors with strong auras gathered. These 3 all looked different, however they were gathered together. According to the Alliance's orders, we rushed here as fast as we could. Looks like the 3 of us are the first to arrive. The moment those 2 space beasts realize that the Black Godly Blade is a part of the Sword River net, they'll definitely be shocked and immediately rush towards this whirlpool tunnel to escape to the outside world. The moment they escape to the outside world, they'll be able to teleport, God Country teleport, etc. No one will be able to catch them. We have to guard this place well. Don't tell me we're just going to wait here forever. A low voice resounded. When the time comes, a group of universe overlords will arrive. Even the overturned demon lord will arrive. It's just a divine sort of Jian He Luo. How many contribution points can we get? From what I see, Captain Wangjia, you guard this place for now. Lowly Knight, and I will initiate the attack first. With our abilities, we definitely have a chance of killing those 2 space beasts. What are you hesitating for? Very soon the other universe overlords will arrive. Lowly Knight, do you agree? The low voice resounded. I agree. A gentle voice resounded. All right, I agree too. However, when the time comes to acquire the sword, we'll have to split the contribution points according to how much the 3 of us work together to get it. That's for sure. The 3 universe overlords looked at each other and laughed. So, 2 of them flew into the air at the same time. One of them was about 30 meters tall, with 3 curved horns on his head. He had an ugly appearance, and his eyes were as sharp as an eagle's. His arms were thick and powerful, as if they were carved from steel. At the same time, he was holding a simple and unadorned spear, with 3 bloodstains on the tip. The other was 10 m tall, his entire body covered in a black battle robe. Even his face was covered in a black mask. Lowly Knight, later on your soul attack, it'll be best if you can kill those 2 space beasts. If I can't kill them, it will affect their ability to resist. At that time, I will fight them in close combat. Given the power of my divergent blood spear, coupled with the burning of my divine body and my ultimate technique, even if they're wearing ordinary treasures and armors, my terrifying attack, which is comparable to a Lord of the Universes, might far exceeds the limits of their treasures and armors. I'm afraid I can only weaken them by 1,000th or even 100th of their power. The divergent blood spear is a high-grade supreme treasure with unparalleled might. The black-robed supremacy laughed as well. We will definitely succeed in one fell swoop. Palace Master Qi Shui was a very famous universe overlord in the Northern Frontier Alliance. He had 3 supreme treasures on him, and his close combat weapon was a high-grade supreme treasure. Coupled with his melee combat ultimate art, he could even exchange blows with a Lord of the Universe for a while. Once he attacked with all his strength, it would indeed exceed the endurance limit of an ordinary supreme treasure armor. Within the endurance limit, the 3rd form of a normal treasure armor could normally weaken a physical attack by a 10,000th. However, the moment it exceeded this limit, the weakening ability of the armor would drop drastically. It could only weaken the attack by 1,000th, 100th, a 10th, or even shatter. This was the reason why the universe lords didn't even bother with normal treasures. Even if it exceeds the limits of their armors, even though their bodies are larger, At most, my divergent blood spear can stab a few more times. As Palace Head Qi Shui flew at high speed, he also laughed and communicated, "Lowly knight, when the time comes, we'll have to rely on your soul attacks. Don't let them escape. I heard that the golden horned beast has wing-type treasures. Leave it to me." Lowly Knight and Palace Master Qi Shui became two beams of light in mid-air, swiftly heading towards Luo Feng's location. One had to know, back then, Luo Feng was the first to arrive at the Black Blade body. Hence, the Northern Frontier Alliance could easily deduce that Luo Feng's temporary residence was definitely not far from the Black Blade body. Hence, Lowly Knight and Palace Master Qi Shui both had their own destinations. Within the virtual universe, Luo Feng was shocked as he looked at the distant bald universe knight. "It's him? One of the two from the Great Alliance who surrounded and attacked me for the treasure?" Simultaneously, Luo Feng noticed that the surroundings of the bald universe knight were extremely lively. A large group of them had gathered, seemingly discussing something excitedly. Sword River Luo. Sword River Luo's godly blade. Rumor has it that the compass was obtained by one of the Universe Lord from the Thorn Ring Alliance. That Universe Lord definitely wants the other godly blades very much, and is willing to pay an extremely high price to exchange for them. It looks like a normal treasure. However, in reality, its value is at least comparable to a high-level treasure. That's right. Moreover, this Sword River net will only reach its perfect form when all of the legendary swords are gathered. Even if one is missing, it won't reach its perfect form. As long as we hide this legendary sword in our Hong Alliance, the Thorn Ring Alliance will definitely lower their heads and think of a way to exchange it. It's a pity that it was taken away by two space beasts. Luo Feng could hear the discussions clearly. Sword River Luo's godly blade? Luo Feng was shocked. Taken away by two space beasts. It's a pity I was too late. If I was lucky, this Sword River Luo would have been mine. The bald universe knight shook his head. A picture floated before him. It was the picture of the Black Blade. Luo Feng, who was watching from afar, his heart was filled with waves. My God, the Black Blade he had acquired, right? It was that Black Blade. It was actually one of the sword from Sword River Luo. Sword River Luo? Luo Feng muttered softly. Information swiftly appeared in his mind. It was the information Yizhou Knight gave him. Over the 100 years since the Primal Star opened, there have been 12 large-scale blood wars within the 10,081 Primal Stars. The appearance of the Sword Tomb was one of them. As for Sword River Luo, just a simple description was enough to let Luo Feng know of its tyrannical power. That was a top-level domain treasure. In terms of attack, it was comparable to the pinnacle of attack treasures. In terms of value, it was no less than 1,000 Treasure River, maybe even slightly more. Of course, the prerequisite was to absorb all the blades. A voice resounded from afar. "Quick, tell us, which primal star are you on, and where is the appearance of the blade?" "Right, let's hurry over. Let's work together to kill those two space beasts and obtain the blade. When that time comes, we won't have to worry about the Thorn Ring Alliance not paying a high price. If we give it to the Great Alliance, they will definitely be willing to give us a high price." Immediately, there was an uproar. "Flee! Hurry and flee!" Luo Feng immediately understood. Blade River. Yizhou Knight ran over. "I still have things to do. Yizhou Knight, we'll talk next time." Luo Feng, however, immediately vanished, causing Yizhou Knight to be filled with suspicion. Luo Feng was on the Primal Star, within the short forest. "Quick, quick, quick!" Yuhai Luo Feng and the Golden Horned Beast swiftly stood up. "Many warriors from the Great Alliance will gather soon. I have to leave quickly. And when I acquired the treasure earlier, the Prison Clan, Great Alliance, and the Northern Border Alliance all saw the Black Blade. The warriors from the Great Alliance have only just begun to gather. They probably won't be able to stop me in time. Only the Northern Border Alliance and the Prison Clan may very well arrive." Yuhai Luo Feng swiftly became 2 meters tall, sitting cross-legged on the Golden Horned Beast's back. This time he was fleeing for his life. And the Golden Horned Beast's fleeing speed was extremely fast. Even if it met with sudden danger, the golden horned beast was still the best at resisting danger. So, the golden horned beast became about 10 m long. With a wingspan of tens of meters, it immediately ignited its god energy and swiftly flew through the skies with the powerful burning of its god energy and the speed of the killing Wu wings. So, it swiftly became a golden light and flew through the skies. At this time, the two overlords of the Northern Border Alliance, Palace Leader Qi Shui and Despicable Knight, were flying through the skies side by side. The main thing was that the primal star was too vast. From the whirlpool exit to Luo Feng's forest, just light speed flying would take close to half an hour. This was also the reason why Palace Leader Qi Shui and Despicable Knight hadn't arrived yet. In truth, the absolute beings of the Northern Border Alliance were all rushing towards Luo Feng's primal star, including the covered demon lord. However, even the covered demon lord had to fly slowly. He had to first fly to the whirlpool passage that led to Luo Feng's primal star. One had to know that every primal star had a diameter of 100 billion kilometers. Even with a speed of 300,000 kilometers per second, he could only fly about 1 billion kilometers per hour. If he was slightly further from the whirlpool passage, it would take a long time to arrive. The warriors that the Northern Border Alliance had arranged were already the fastest to arrive. Quickly look, a golden light. It's the golden horned beast. Palace Leader Qi Shui and Despicable Knight saw it immediately. The two were rushing towards Luo Feng from the whirlpool passage. Luo Feng was rushing towards the whirlpool passage. Naturally, they would be able to see each other. Yuhai Luo and the golden horned beast looked at the two beams of light from afar. Maybe they're warriors from other races. It's unlikely they're chasing after me. How could they be that fast? If things don't work out, I'll just head to another primal star. So, the golden horned beast continued flying. It only made a slight turn to increase the distance between it and the two beams of light. Who? However, the two powerful auras fiercely made a turn and swiftly closed in. Not good. They're coming for me. That three-horned one is the Qi Shui Palace Leader, the Northern Border Alliance's Qi Shui Palace Leader. Beside him is Despicable Knight. Luo Feng, who had been on high alert, immediately recognized the two. He was sure that they were closing in on him. He didn't care about anything else and immediately kept his Ocean Luo in his world ring. Palace Leader Qi Shui, Despicable Knight. They were both universe overlord level beings. And it wasn't just any ordinary universe overlord. There were differences between universe overlords. Usually, universe overlords who had reached the pinnacle of the universe paragon level in law comprehension and secret technique creation, and whose combat power was comparable to an ordinary universe lord, were called universe overlords. However, overlords with normal treasures and those with high-level treasures naturally had different attacks. A human overlord and a special life form overlord that was 8,000 times stronger than normal had differences too. This Qi Shui Palace Leader had a high-level treasure. Despicable Knight was an overlord that specialized in soul attacks. Space Beast, you can't escape. Hand over the godly blade. A low and powerful voice and a gentle voice that invaded one's soul resounded at the same time. P.S. The first chapter has arrived. Currently ranked 4th in the monthly votes. Tomato requesting for monthly votes and support, asterisk, to be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1063. Palace Leader Qi Shui and the lowly knight's reputations were definitely not to be trifled with. Owl. Immediately the golden wings shook and he drew an arc and flew in another direction. I didn't expect to be discovered so early. It's very likely that the whirlpool path to the outside world has been targeted. If I go there, I'll just be walking into a trap. At most, I'll immediately go through another whirlpool path and head to another primal planet. In the distance, Palace Leader Qi Shui and the lowly knight watched coldly. Obviously, everything was within their control. I'll leave it to you, Palace Leader Qi Shui said. The lowly knight looked at Luo Feng from afar, his eyes gleaming with a silver light. Suddenly, The surrounding time warped, and a formless soul attack instantly pierced through space and caught up to the golden-horned beast, drilling right into its body and beginning to corrode every bit of God energy. Every bit of God energy contained a life imprint, soul imprint. The moment it was corroded, Luo Feng was dead for sure. Guard! The golden-horned beast body was infused with God energy. The pearl immediately emitted countless threads that connected with its entire body. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The soul corrosion tried to invade again and again. However, Luo Feng's willpower and consciousness were already extremely strong. Plus, with the protection of the pearl, no matter how the soul corrosion tried, it couldn't even shake Luo Feng. The lowly knight looked in satisfaction at the distant dumbfounded in mid-air, following the inertia of the golden-horned beast and flying slower and slower due to the resistance. He communicated to palace leader Qi Shui beside. I can feel that the corrosion didn't succeed. However, while he was defending against my soul attack, he was affected. I'll leave the rest to you. Haha, watch me. Palace leader Qi Shui became a beam of light and rushed towards the distant golden-horned beast. Venerable Humble also followed behind him. Golden-horned beast. Palace master Qi Shui raised the ancient spear in his hand high up. The 3 blood scars on the tip of the spear started to reveal countless blood-colored law engravings. A bloody aura enveloped Palace Master Qi Shui, causing Palace Master Qi Shui's eyes to gradually turn red and crazy. He emitted an endless killing intent as he rapidly approached the golden-horned beast. Give it to me! Break! Palace leader Qi Shui roared madly. All the God energy in his body ignited. The Titan force filled the spear in his hand, and he fiercely waved it. Puff! The tip of the spear was like a blood-colored lightning bolt, directly piercing towards the golden-horned beast that had just woken up and only had time to close its wings to protect itself. Clang! The spear tip's power was heaven-defying. Everywhere it passed, even with the stability of the primitive star's space, it immediately warped, creating ripples that could be seen with the naked eye, and finally pierced into the golden-horned beast's wings. Boom! The power of this strike was monstrous. The golden-horned beast was like a shooting star, directly knocked far away by the force. Quickly chase after him. Don't let him escape, Palace Master Qi Shui said. Whoosh! Whoosh! Venerable Humble You and Palace Master Qi Shui chased after him. Such power! The golden-horned beast was sent flying far away like a shooting star by the force of the attack. At the same time, it was feeling the damage on its body. My disguise was affected just now. I wanted to experience the power of the legendary palace leader Qi Shui's spear. It really does live up to its name. My Wu killer wings didn't seem to have much of an effect. Luo Feng knew early on that the stronger the attack, the less effective the normal armor would be. And the Wu killer wings itself was a flying treasure. Even though it could be used as a shield to block attacks, its defense couldn't compare to a true armor treasure. From what Luo Feng felt earlier, the Wu killer wings should have only weakened half of the attack's power, and the Calamity armor still weakened the attack to 1/10,000 th. Combining the two, the golden-horned beast body was only able to withstand 1/20,000 th of the Qi blood spear's power. That power was condensed like a diamond. After the energy pierced through slaying Wu's wings and armor, the remaining energy continued to wreak havoc within my god body, finally being destroyed by my god body. Luo Feng was shocked within. However, that attack just now actually caused me some damage. Compared to the golden-horned beast's huge body, this damage wasn't even worth mentioning. However, Luo Feng was still shocked. This was after it was weakened to 1/20,000 th of the original power. If he didn't have the Calamity armor, and only had a normal armor with his second form, it would be good if he could weaken it to 1/10,000, 1/20,000th and 1/10,000. The difference was 2,000 times. What kind of concept was 2,000 times? With a difference of over 1,000 times, he could easily destroy his opponent with one palm without any damage. Just like an Emperor Pinnacle killing an official level Undying, He didn't even need to use any god energy. He could easily kill them. How come his energy didn't weaken? Chasing swiftly from behind was shocked. Even if he activated his normal armor's third form under my attack, it would be pretty good if he could weaken it to 1/100th. Even so, I used up close to 1/1000th of my body to unleash this ultimate attack. Along with the Chi blood spear, he should still be heavily injured. Shio! The golden-horned beast flapped its wings, its speed exploding. Its speed is so fast. Palace leader Chi Shui said, "Lowly Knight, quick, stop him. Leave it to me." The lowly knight looked at the escaping golden-horned beast, once again unleashing a soul attack, wanting to affect the golden-horned beast, but this time, the golden-horned beast didn't even speed up. Instead, it continued to speed up, already nearing the speed of light. It's not affected. Lowly Knight revealed a shocked expression. "I've been tricked." Palace leader Chi Shui roared. Looks like he wasn't affected at all before. He probably thought his defense was heaven-defying and purposely took my spear. Damn that bastard. He's insulting me. He's insulting me. Lowly Knight, immediately stop him. I want him to know the consequences of insulting me. The palace master of the Divergent Blood Palace growled in a low voice. His eyes were filled with a bloody light. Ever since he obtained the Divergent Blood Spear, the evil aura in his heart had become stronger and stronger. Normally, he could still control it, but once it exploded, he would completely go crazy. And when he went crazy, he was the most terrifying. Lowly Knight looked coldly at the distant golden-horned beast, immediately waving his hand. So, a dense cluster of 30,000 black daggers appeared in mid-air, flying through the air. This was the spirit weapon treasure that Lowly Knight had. As a warrior that specialized in soul attacks, his spirit weapons naturally weren't weak. A warrior's speed couldn't compare to a spirit weapon. The spirit weapons were getting closer and closer. Very quickly, they enveloped Luo foam. Not good. The swiftly fleeing golden-horned beast saw the dense cluster of tens of thousands of black silhouettes flying over and knew things weren't good. Cover the wings. The golden-horned beast immediately spread its wings. The golden, glistening wings madly expanded, blocking most of the black daggers. There were still a few that pierced towards the golden-horned beast's abdomen. Countless black daggers were like stars, smashing fiercely into the golden-horned beast's body. The endless wilderness below was constantly being swept past. The golden-horned beast that was flying swiftly in mid-air was slowing down, while Lowly Knight and Palace Leader Chi Shui swiftly closed in. Those two bastards, they're still chasing me. I have the Calamity armor on me. They still think they can do anything to me. Before, I just wanted to feel the power of the legendary Chi blood spear. That's why I pretended to be affected by the soul attack. Otherwise, how would they have the chance to attack me? A spirit weapon treasure obstructs me? If I were to unleash the gold line Aurora Mirror, a domain treasure's ability to obstruct me is much stronger than your spirit weapon. The golden-horned beast looked back coldly. He didn't even see Palace Head Chi Shui and the despicable lord as threats, even though his offensive methods were much weaker. With the Calamity armor and the golden-horned beast's powerful god body, it was enough to make Lowly Knight and Palace Leader Chi Shui despair. Before, it only wanted to feel the power of the Chi blood spear. Since it had done so, naturally it had to leave. No matter what, I have to lose the two of them. Otherwise, my plans will be seen clearly by them. Before I lose them, I'll first teach them a lesson. Howl! The golden-horned beast suddenly roared, its wings fiercely flapping. Wah! It actually drew an arc and turned back, rumbling as it charged towards Lowly Knight and Palace Leader Chi Shui. This immediately made Palace Leader Chi Shui overjoyed, immediately shouting, "Stupid golden-horned beast, you're actually looking for death. Of course I'll fulfill your wish." Burning his god energy, Palace Leader Chi Shui charged towards the golden-horned beast. Howl! The golden-horned beast's wings were like blades. Palace Leader Chi Shui's eyes were covered in a layer of bloodlight. The entire Chi blood spear in his hands was also covered in a layer of bloodlight. He had completely entered a berserk state. It It was like two planets colliding. Rumble. The space shook. One could only see the golden-horned beast roaring as it used its sharp wings to slash time and time again. Palace leader Qi Shui dodged time and time again while crazily thrusting the spear in his hands. His thrusting technique was very strange. Each time it was faster than the last. The aura of his god body was also getting stronger and stronger. The power of the spear was also constantly increasing. Puff, 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 puff. In an instant, they fought for a few seconds. Palace leader Qi Shui was the first to explosively retreat. The blood light in his eyes had already dissipated. He no longer had the savagery from before. Instead, there was shock and anger. What's going on? Qi Shui, your ultimate technique of 13 consecutive spears didn't work? Lowly Knight flew over. Your 13 spears used the special technique of the Qi blood spear to burn the god body. Didn't you say that the further you go, the more energy it takes to burn the god body, and that with 13 spears, no universe overlord would dare to take it head on? They would all die. Those 13 spears. The first spear only used up 1/1000 of his god body, but from the second spear onwards, the energy consumption increased. The further it went, the more it used up. With 13 spears, it used up close to 9% of his god body. This. Palace leader Qi Shui's eyes were filled with shock and anger. Impossible. I used up 9% of my god body, but his aura actually didn't weaken at all. Lowly Knight and Palace leader Qi Shui stared at the distant golden-horned beast in shock and anger. The golden-horned beast looked coldly at the two of them, simultaneously letting out a low roar. At the same time, the vast golden polar domain instantly enveloped the surrounding 100 million kilometers. In an instant, Lowly Knight and Palace leader Qi Shui were completely within. Their expressions changed greatly. It's a domain-type treasure. So, the golden-horned beast flapped its wings within the endless golden light. It swiftly flew far away, at the same time muttering to itself. I've taught him a lesson. It's time to leave. However, this palace leader Qi Shui is also quite powerful. My calamity armor actually caused me to use up 1/10,000 of my god body. If it was a slightly smaller universe overlord, I'm afraid he would have been destroyed. 2 chapters were finished. Tomorrow was a rest day, Saturday. Looking at this week's update, Tomato was indeed not doing well, taking a day off on the 29th, updating late on the 30th. Hence, Tomato needed to write 3 more chapters. Tomorrow will be 3 chapters. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 1064. In the air above the wilderness, Qi Shui, Palace Leader, and Humble Knight. The 2 overlords of the universe exchanged glances, their eyes filled with shock and seriousness. Powerful. This super-powerful being of the Star Behemoth Alliance has a domain-type treasure, a flight treasure, and a suit of armor that can save his life. Should be a high-grade treasure. Right, it must be a high-level treasure, and it's already in its 3rd form. Qi Shui, Palace Leader, said solemnly, if it's just a normal treasure, it wouldn't be this easy against my blood spear. The 2 of them exchanged glances. Big trouble. High-level treasure armor. Activated to its 3rd form, along with that huge god body. These 3 factors were enough to make the other universe overlords despair. The stronger the warrior, the harder it was to fall. Many of the universe overlords already had a hard time falling. Even if they couldn't win, they could still flee, and this person with a high-level treasure armor that could weaken the attack to 1/10,000 th, and a god body that was ridiculously huge. How could they kill him? Unless the difference in strength was huge. Like a universe lord attacking. Like a special life form or a universe overlord. We had no other choice. Humble Knight said gently. And because of this, he was alerted. Our plans are probably going to fail. Then what do we do? Qi Shui, Palace Leader, said solemnly. First, we can't admit to fighting with the golden-horned beast, and no other warrior saw it. If we don't say anything, no one will know. Humble Knight said, second, we have to obediently listen to the Alliance's orders. Our North Border Alliance's universe lords are planning and planning. At the Whirlpool exit, the closest Whirlpool passages to the Sword River Godblade, etc. When the time comes, when the Demon Lord personally arrives, naturally he won't let the Golden Horned Beast escape. Chi Shui Palace leader nodded. The North Border Alliance was one of the universe's 9 strongest powers. If they set up a trap, how many could escape? In a vast, ancient forest on the primal planet, the Golden Horned Beast was hiding, its eyes filled with worry. What we do? Our original plan is no longer feasible. When Luo Feng found out about the Sword River Godblade in the virtual universe, he immediately decided to flee. The place he chose was the Whirlpool Passage to the outside world. According to Luo Feng's earliest plan, they first flew closer to the Whirlpool Tunnel, and when they were almost there, the Golden Horned Beast, Masha clansmen, and Yuhai split up. The Golden Horned Beast handed over all the treasures, while the Masha clansmen carried the Yuhai clansmen, turning into dirt and hiding. Let the Golden Horned Beast try to pass through the Whirlpool first. If he succeeded, he would let the Masha clan's clone do it. If he failed and fell into danger, unable to escape, he would just let the Golden Horned Beast self-destruct. At the same time, Luo Feng's Earth body in the outside world would immediately use the virtual universe to seek help from his primal Chaos City leader teacher. One must know that Whirlpool pathway was the closest pathway to the human domain. After the primal Chaos City leader rushed over, he could totally rely on his powerful strength to forcefully capture Luo Feng. But in reality, he had saved Luo Feng. Although this plan was simple and direct, it was also effective. However, after the battle with Chi Shui Palace leader and Despicable Knight, it made Luo Feng immediately change his plan. The two of them flew over here to find me. Obviously, the Northern Border Alliance's movements are extremely fast. Probably when the Sword River Godblade was born, the Northern Border Alliance's knights have already recognized the Black Blade. Luo Feng thought, from the battle with Chi Shui Palace leader and Despicable Knight, he could deduce the Northern Border Alliance's plans were very early. The Northern Border Universe Lord was probably rushing over as soon as possible, maybe even earlier than the Primal Chaos City leader. If I run to the Whirlpool pathway now, it'll definitely be a mad massacre. If I continue to head there, I'll just be looking for trouble. Then what do? Head to the nearest Whirlpool pathway? Luo Feng pondered. A primal planet had 10,081 Whirlpool pathways. Every pathway had a distance of a few 100 million kilometers. It usually took more than half an hour to fly from one vortex passage to another. And right now, the closest pathway to him would take about 15 minutes to reach. If the Northern Border Alliance was more careful in their arrangements, then they would have set up traps in the whirlpools near the Sword River Luo God Sword's birth location. Luo Feng shook his head. Then if I rush over there, I'll be walking right into their trap. And the probability is very high. Heading to the outside Whirlpool pathway. Danger. Go to the nearby vortex passageway. Danger 2. And heading to the distant pathways, the Northern Border Universe Lord would probably descend while he was flying, controlling space and time. Even from such a distance, they would be able to completely suppress him and attack him. Relying on the Masha clan's transformation techniques and natural ability cloning, Luo Feng shook his head. The Masha clan was just one of the countless normal clans in the universe. Their natural ability cloning was only one of the weaker ones. It was just a little unique and peculiar. It didn't mean it couldn't be broken. The Northern Border Alliance was one of the universe's 9 great powers. The moment they set it up for Luo Feng to escape, it would be difficult. I can only seek help from my teacher. Luo Feng thought. Virtual Universe Lightning Island Peak, within the primal Chaos City leader's palace that was shrouded in endless energy. Luo Feng stepped through the door of the palace and entered, walking deep within before stopping and shouting respectfully, "Teacher!" A golden-robed silhouette walked out. Luo Feng. The primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng and smiled. "You should be on Primal Star right now. Looking for me. What's the matter? Your disciple has an urgent matter to report." Luo Feng didn't dare hesitate. Your disciple is using the golden horned beast body to bring the Masha clan body to Primal Star. The Primal Chaos City leader nodded and listened. He naturally knew about this, because Luo Feng's earth body was within Thousand Treasure River region. On Primal Star, I coincidentally acquired the Sword River part. Luo Feng said. It's you? The Primal Chaos City leader was shocked, laughing loudly. I've just received news that 2 space beasts from the Space Beast Alliance have acquired the Sword River part. I was thinking, if this part were to land in our human race's hands, it would be an important bargaining chip with the Thorn Ring Alliance. Luo Feng said, however, your disciple is currently in big trouble. The Northern Border Alliance knows about this too, and has already begun to plot against your disciple. Speak in detail. The Primal Chaos City leader creased his eyebrows. Yes. Luo Feng immediately began to speak in detail, mentioning the Qi Shui Palace leader and Despicable Knight. You actually didn't lose out against them? The Primal Chaos City leader looked shocked at Luo Feng. The Qi Shui Palace leader and Despicable Knight. Those were definitely famous overlords of the universe. They represented the strength of a normal overlord. For Luo Feng to be able to withstand these two, even the Primal Chaos City leader was shocked. Almost in an instant, the Primal Chaos City leader guessed that his disciple Luo Feng definitely had a defensive treasure, and it was probably a high-level treasure. Like a high-level treasure, armor, etc. Even though he guessed it, the Primal Chaos City leader didn't ask, because his disciple Luo Feng already had a bunch of secrets, like at the Undying level. Why was his god body so strong? Stronger than many other universe knights? One had to know that the Primal Chaos City leader had personally witnessed Luo Feng's breakthrough to Undying, and the origin laws that descended were terrifying. And Luo Feng was even in the Thousand Treasure River level, his god body strength, with the Primal Chaos City leader's control of time and space. He could totally deduce that Luo Feng's body was even stronger than some universe knights. All of this, the Primal Chaos City leader didn't ask. Maybe this disciple of mine has some fortune. Maybe it's some powerful being's fortune. Maybe it's from before the Great Apocalypse. The Primal Chaos City leader was very happy to see this happen. Who cared what special fortune his disciple had? Anyway, the stronger he was, the better. The stronger Luo Feng was, it meant that the human race would soon have a new pillar like absolute being. My disciple's battle strength can't compare to the Qi Shui Palace leader and the others. I'm only relying on my large body to withstand it. Luo Feng said. A large body is also a part of one's strength. The Primal Chaos City leader said. Luo Feng said urgently, Teacher, I'm sure you know the situation now. The warriors of the Northern Border Alliance are already chasing after me. Obviously, they've been plotting since long ago. What I do now? Whichever whirlpool path I go to seems to be dangerous. I seek teacher's guidance. You're still smart. You didn't try to be smart. The Primal Chaos City leader smiled. Just based on your own strength, you'll definitely be caught and killed. That Northern Border Alliance is enough to compare with our Great Alliance. And in terms of warriors and races, they're much more than us. The Primal Chaos City leader exclaimed. All sorts of special life forms, and some races with strong bloodlines and special techniques. There are many of them too. All sorts of special techniques are very ingenious. Looking for you? It's simply impossible to defend against. Your special technique cloning is a very powerful hiding technique. If you rely on your normal strength, you'll become a universe lord and completely control a part of space and time. Only then will you be able to see the problem. The Primal Chaos City leader said. Luo Feng nodded. After controlling a part of space and time, it was indeed very powerful. Like his own special technique domain, it could be easily broken like cloning too. And the special technique strengthening, in truth, could only amplify the body up to 100 times. Hence, in the later stages, it wouldn't be of much use. Hence, many special techniques were still useful when one was weak. However, at the Universe Lord level, there were very few special techniques that could still be of great use. However, Luo Feng's life genetic level had reached the limits of perfection. His soul and consciousness entering the universe's mysterious region was bestowed with a special technique, I am the universe, which was considered one of the pinnacle of special techniques. Even special techniques can be broken through by other special techniques. The primal chaos city leader said, there are all sorts of special techniques in the universe, and due to some special encounters, being bestowed with special techniques by the universe is very normal. The different levels of the special techniques have different powers. Even their uses are different too. They counter each other. There are some that are similar to each other. However, these special techniques become more and more useless the later stages. The primal chaos city leader smiled. Just like that Bark Mirror Emperor's special technique is a soul attack, and any random soul attack from a universe lord would be much more exquisite than this special technique. Luo Feng nodded obediently. And with the Northern Border Alliance's plans for you, even if you want to use your special techniques to sneak out, it's impossible. The primal chaos city leader shook his head. You're underestimating the abilities of the superpowers. Then what should I do? Luo Feng asked. As your teacher, naturally I have a way. The primal chaos city leader smiled. P.S. Chapter 1 has arrived. I'm ranked 5th in the monthly votes. Sweat. To be continued. If you like this work, please come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation.